You click on a head, he instantly kills someone. It's like, whoa!
How many games before that did that, you know?
Valve doesn't always have the best interest for the players.
It's just low-hanging fruit.
How much is it the game changing and how much is it me changing?
What's more important than the things you choose to do with your
idle time?
Okay.
Do you want to restart the intro? Do we want
we don't need to do the intro yet. And in fact, I was going to ask if I could do it because I don't think I've done one in a while.
You should do it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, let me give my actual preamble
give your
here.
preamble here so we can get buttered up and ready to go.
Yeah, well, so loosely, the topic, right? I hope you guys thought about it a bit, was if you took over TF2, right? What you would do with your power, right? Great, love the list. However, I just want to say, I want the atmosphere to just be relaxed.
That's why I got my moonshine, man. It's
that's right. I want this to feel like the most casual episode so far.
It's the Thanksgiving episode, man. We're gonna take
yes. So basically, all of the tangents are welcome. Please, random riffraff, random tangents, good. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, there ain't no rigid schedule to this one. I'm happy about that. That being said, welcome to the newest episode of Idle Time. I am your main host, Zesty Jesus, followed by the other two main hosts, Casual and Richter Overtime. Welcome to episode 6. Gentlemen, how are we today?
I'm doing just fine. How about yourself?
I'm excited for Thanksgiving, man. What about you, Casual?
I'm super excited too. I'm probably not going to indulge though, because I've had a lot of Thanksgivings where I went too far. Like I had like a very greedy, sinful Thanksgiving, and I was like, "What was this all for?" But the vibes are awesome. I'm liking
don't run. It's just ham,
dude.
Okay, so are y'all ham or turkey people?
Ham for sure. I mean, turkey can be great. I just think turkey gets too dry often. It's really hard to do turkey right. Just me.
I agree with that.
Really? I'm kind of shocked. We do turkey. All right, so we'll get into the TF2 stuff. Don't worry. Let's have some fucking Thanksgiving talk here. So the way we do turkey is the way my grandma taught me how to do turkey. I would help her prepare the turkey every year since I was like 7 years old because she was too old. She couldn't lift this 25-pound bird because we're feeding like 12 people, so we always get as big as bird as possible. And so what we do is we take the bird, you clean it out, get the guts out, and we load up with like 6 sticks of butter. We coat the motherfucker in butter. We slip butter under the skin. We put butter inside the body, and also a little bit of salt because it helps draw the moisture into the body itself. Put that sucker breast side down in a couple of paper bags, and that will always get you a consistently moist and delicious oven-baked turkey, and we do that every year. That's what we do. We do ham every now and again. Just
how long does it take? How long does your turkey take?
Well, it depends on the size. So for a 25-pound bird, 7-8 hours or so, roughly.
Yeah, it's so brutal, but I guess it's worth it. I did turkey once, like a couple Thanksgivings ago, and dude, the time commitment, it's serious.
That's the fun, man. A lot of the cooking, at least in my family, happens on the day of. Like today, we just finished all the pies. We got a couple apple pies. We got a pecan pie this year. It's just me and my parents because we alternate year after year of, this year everyone's going out to the in-laws. This year it's the local family all coming together. It's one of the in-law years. So my sister's off with her husband, and then all the extended families all hanging out with in-laws and whatnot. So it's just me and my parents this year. But we got a couple apple pies and a couple pecan pies this year, and probably way too much food that we are going to be preparing tomorrow. Most of the prep for us happens on the day of because you want it hot and fresh.
Okay, can I get another pie mentioned? I heard apple, I heard pecan. Can I get another pie mentioned?
Well, we normally do 6, but what about you? What's your favorite?
Well, there's just a particular pie I have a lot of passion for that hasn't been mentioned so far. There we go. Let's go, Richter.
Which one?
Go, Richter.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie.
Oh, pumpkin pie. Okay, so
I'm a lover.
Pumpkin.
I'm a lover.
All right, so let me clarify. Pumpkin pie in my family is a smash hit. My uncle can eat a whole one on his own if you give him a bucket of Cool Whip to go with it. He fucking loves it. So normally we do 6 different kinds of pies. We do apple, we do pecan, we do mixed berry, we do pumpkin, we do buttermilk, and then some kind of chess pie, something with chocolate. Every now and again, coconut mixed in, but we do some kind of chess or chocolate pie. So this year we're just down to 2
That's fantastic news. I'm glad you're. Go for it, Richter.
I was just gonna say Thanksgiving is like when I first realized I was kind of retarded. Because my family would always. My family would all. And
Alex Jones quote.
I don't know if you guys help your family on Thanksgiving. I could do a lot of things that would help them. Cut up ham and all that. One thing I absolutely could not do growing up. They would try and have me help really early on when I was very young. And but even as I grew to an age where it like didn't make sense for me to be doing this anymore, I was like so horrible at peeling things. Like peeling, we would make apple pie, or we'd be like making mashed potatoes, and I would be asked to go peel potatoes and peel apples. I would always like shred the fuck out of my fingers. I guess my motor function just isn't good or something. I don't know.
I mean, it can be a little dangerous. Did you get a tutorial? Were you properly trained in peeling?
It's like sort of. A potato peeler shouldn't be hard to use, though. Is the problem? I think
there's a little technique to it, though. I mean, there is definitely go wrong. Yeah, if you didn't get instructed.
Yeah, but
like,
I was always trying to make everyone eat like a fingernail skin pie. So that was.
This is brutal. This is a dark memory, dude. I thought this would be like a funny story.
I had to be taken off of peeling duty. Everything.
Listen, don't worry. You and I are in the same boat, my friend. I have cut my hands more times than I can count whenever I'm put on peeling duty for the. We do a very German mashed potato stuffing to go with our turkey, so I've sliced my hands up more times than I can count whenever I had to peel.
I love stuffing. I don't know if that's a hot take here. I fucking love stuffing. I know it's like I used to have people tell me like, that's actually they make that to clean windshields or something. I have no idea where that comes from or if that's
Excuse me?
I used to get told they make stuffing.
I've never heard this.
I'm just gonna sound insane because I don't even remember who told me that, but I used to tell people I like stuffing a lot. It's like my favorite Thanksgiving food, and people would be like, that's it's like croutons that they use to clean car windshields or something. This is gonna sound insane if no one knows what I'm talking about. I don't even know. I don't know that this is true. I don't know that this is true. It's something people used to tell me to make fun of me for liking stuffing.
What's with the anti-stuffing lobby? I've never heard anyone.
But I love
with
stuffing.
A beef
I love
with stuffing
so much. Stuffing and like ham is like I could eat that alone for Thanksgiving and be happy probably.
Oh, me too.
Is there anything you guys would change about Thanksgiving if you had all the power in the world?
I would just focus a little less on turkey because I like the turkey. It's good, but like you said, it's very dry.
You know what? I agree. I think we need to incorporate brisket more.
Brisket is a good pick,
typical Thanksgiving fare. A good long, smoked brisket. Oof. Yeah. We did that one year and it was fucking good, man.
Would you take it over the turkey or it's not that? We can't speak like that.
You got to have both, but I love brisket more than I love turkey, but in my opinion, if you don't have turkey on Thanksgiving...
Is it like, even Thanksgiving?
Yeah, exactly. You got to have turkey as a staple.
I understand the necessity.
What we're saying here essentially is that, turkey is the two-fort of Thanksgiving, right?
Exactly.
Non-negotiable.
Is it really TF2 without the turkey?
Yeah, that's a great question. Speaking of great questions, Casual, I think you had a... somewhere you were going with this, right?
Yeah, Casual has created our prompt for today's episode. So, what's your plan, my friend? I have some stuff, but you go first.
I was curious. I like to invoke the imagination a bit, and I wanted to ask you guys what you would do if you had unrealistic power and influence over TF2. Build the hypothetical how you want. You're Gabe Newell's son or whatever's going on. You have impossible control. This realistically would never happen. You don't got to worry about the politics of it. It's not like you're an employee and you got to battle other employees in the corporate hierarchy. Like just pretend you've been blessed with this position where you're in charge of TF2 and you can really just do whatever you like with it. You can use Valve money to whatever with TF2. What would you do with that? Because I think, we are so often in an understandable sort of gloom about the state of things, or just feeling like we can't even dream a little because, Valve hasn't really been involved or has dropped the ball a lot. So I want to dream a little bit today. I know there'll be some quality of life things, and I'm excited about that too, because I think that's part of the dream. But I'm also hoping to hear some out on a limb type changes from you guys. And I'm just curious where you'll go with this. So
yeah, I like to interject with you just kind of made me think about something, and this is extremely autistic that I'm mentioning this, but I have to say it before I forget about it. You said if we were Gabe Newell's son, and I just remembered his son's name is Gray, and I just realized that's also the name of the third secret son in TF2, the Gray Newell character or whatever. Okay, I'm wondering if it just made me wonder if they did that on purpose. If that's the joke. I don't know.
There's no way. I suspect.
Anyway, that's super autistic. I'm sorry to even interject.
No, don't apologize for the
you're
tism.
Being too self-aware.
Don't apologize for the tism. I think we all have a certain flavor of tism that leads us to have these kinds of conversations. Though I will say, gray was probably a play on colors because you have red and blue.
Yeah, and then the original maps it says like gray, gravel, and everything. It's just playing on what was there, but
well, that also could have still been a play on his son. We simply don't know.
Yeah, his life and everything is like really weird and not documented. Well, I have a friend who
not
emailed Gabe and like
Why is it not documented? Where's the wiki?
We need a wiki on this man's life
is just
now.
not talked about that much. I have a friend who emailed him when he was a kid and like got told stuff like in email from Gabe Newell that's like not written anywhere online, or at least it wasn't back then. Like him being born on like a military base and like all sorts of shit like that. It's weird that
Gabe's
someone as famous as him, people don't know that much. They don't know that much about him. It's interesting.
Well, I suppose it's a good thing because I don't know if the son of a rather public and well-known figure would like to have his life in the limelight. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, Gabe was born on a military base.
Oh, Gabe was. I thought you were talking. Sorry, I thought you were talking about his son.
Also, people didn't even know he had a son for
interesting.
ages. Yeah, people didn't know he had a son for like so. And also, this is creepy. I don't mean to be like we're talking about Gabe Newell's family.
Idle Time, episode 6. Where was Gabe Newell really born?
No, but another interesting. People didn't even know he had a son until like a couple of years ago when like Tyler McVicker emailed or like interviewed him or something. It like really people don't know a lot about Gabe. That's
thank God he has some privacy. Yeah, have you seen those weird 4chan green texts about meeting Gabe in the bathroom at some gaming event? It was pretty weird.
No, what's that about? I've not heard that.
Something about him having a body double, or somebody swore they met Gabe Newell, but they're like, that couldn't have been him. Like he's a plant, he's an actor or something.
I don't know about that.
I mean, he's got the money to make that happen if he needs it, right?
He does if he needs
There's no wiki. How are we supposed to know?
There's no wiki. Make Gabe Newell wiki right now. We need to know everything.
As interesting as before we dive into what we would do if we were given the keys to the kingdom discussion, I will say when it comes to talking about figures like Gabe Newell or any other public figure, it is always so fascinating to tickle the brain and think about like, man, what are these guys all about, and seeing all this information about them. But at the same time, it's like, these are also human beings. You got to respect their privacy. You know, every aspect of their life shouldn't be on full display.
He's got plenty of privacy on that like $2 billion mega yacht away from all of society.
Dude, I think that's
like in the middle
cool.
of the ocean.
I think it's so cool that he has one of these yachts that he built and allows for scientific research expeditions on them for oceanography.
Also,
I think that's
I gotta
badass.
revive this. I gotta revive this casual because with all this like Half-Life 3 hype, I'm learning there totally are Steam and Valve fans still. They love it. They love to go like, if there's anyone who deserves this mega yacht,
no,
it's
dude,
Newell.
you
Those
can't,
everywhere.
Bro, you can't bunch together Valve fans and Steam fans. The
okay, whatever.
The whole argument was that Steam's like a shopping store service. Like Valve, we could say they made games. That's why people are fans of Valve.
They
like
make AI blinged out Gabe Newell with like a Rolex on. And
I've seen that meme everywhere. I've seen it everywhere.
They want
because they love Steam. They love using Steam. Sorry.
Listen. Anyway,
all right. Let's give Zesty the keys to the kingdom. How about that?
Oh God! And so, what I would do with Team Fortress 2 if I had full control over it? It's so tricky because there's two pathways to this. There's the pathway number one is what would you do to the current modern version of the game to improve things, and then you can go back in time from day one. It's like, okay, where would you take the game, and then explore from there. I think our viewers would probably find it a little bit more scintillating if I focused on how I would change the modern state of the game. And I have a list. It's a little bit long, and a lot of it involves balance stuff, but that can come later. But I want y'all's opinions on this, gentlemen. In my opinion, one of the most pressing problems with TF2 right now, aside from like the matchmaking stuff, because that's kind of a no-brainer. We don't really need to get into the details of that. We know it sucks. But my biggest gripe with TF2 outside of the matchmaking system is just the volume of maps that we have. We have so many that just don't need to be here. 122 in the vanilla rotation, 61 or 62 Scream Fortress maps, and then Lord knows how many fucking Christmas maps. There are just way too many, and that's not healthy for any video games ecosystem at all. So, if I was given keys to the kingdom, the first thing I would do is I would immediately cull most of the maps added after 2015. What do you think?
This is true. I mean, you're on the nose with the problem, because this is definitely the problem to fix. I guess my question immediately would then be, because I'm definitely in support of it, much more than I would ever be not in favor of it. But how would you cull the maps? That's what I want to ask.
I would just delete them. I would just outright
Just-
remove them
just
from
all
the
of
game.
them. Okay.
Yeah, I would just say
Okay,
bye.
so
These are gone.
there's no survivors post 2015.
No, there's okay. So I made a list of the maps that I would keep. I said
Okay,
most.
okay.
No, so like the maps I would keep from 2016 onward, I would keep Swiftwater because I know people like that one.
And that's an old map, basically.
And it's an old
it took them
map.
forever to add it. Yeah.
It is. So if it's one to keep, gotta keep it. I would keep Sunshine because it is a competitive TF2 staple. Therefore, it is also a TF2 staple, and I'm talking competitive as in the grassroots competitive and not Valve competitive, right? So that one's a very iconic map. People like that one. I will keep that. Mercenary Park, because out of the Jungle Inferno maps, I believe that one is the best one. I would also keep Moss Rock. I fear people may view that as a controversial decision, but I would keep Moss Rock. That one's kind of my personal one. I would keep Banana Bay because we just don't have enough payload race maps, and that one's pretty good. I would keep Pier. That's a very classic map. That existed for shit. When was it made? 2010, something like that.
Yeah,
it's a very old map. I would keep Shark Bay because I know this might come off as strange, but Shark Bay, in my opinion, is one of the best, if not the best map added in the last 8 years. It plays so well. It looks pretty good. It's a very high quality map that I'm very glad was added. I would keep that one. I would keep Harp. That one's also personal bias because personally I really love Harp. I would keep Berghausen because other than De Groot Keep, you don't have any other medieval maps, so one extra one would be fine. And I would also keep Fulgur. Fulgur that was added this year. It invokes that nostalgic feel. The visual design and the way it plays is very classic attack defend TF2, and I really enjoy that one. But other than that, I would nuke all of the other maps that have been added. However, if I may continue my rant here, I would keep one Scream Fortress map per year, because as soon as Valve started adding 5 or 6 each year, that really set the precedent of adding too many. So I would keep one for each year, and if I may.
Yeah, one would be so reasonable. I mean, how many Halloween maps do you even have? That's
61.
Unquestionably so out of hand. That's so insane.
61, if I counted correctly. Someone in the comments will correct me, but we have 61 of them, which is just so many.
That's like more maps than were in the game for like the first 5 years of the game or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
like we had 40 in the first 6 years, 7 years, I think. Yeah, we have way too many Scream Fortress maps, and so many of them are terrible. But if I was going to keep one each year, here's my list. And I know y'all, I don't know if y'all have like encyclopedic knowledge of what all these are, and people in the comments, I'm sure will debate me to Kingdom Come, but these are the ones that I would pick. From 2015, I would keep a CP Gorge event to keep with a tradition of like, okay, we take existing map, and then here's a Halloween reskin. I would do CP Gorge event. 2016, the best map they added that year, in my opinion, was Pit of Death, which is the player destruction one. 2017, they didn't add any, so that one's just not applicable. 2018, I would add King of the Hill Cauldron, which is the reskin of Koth Bagel, which is a very good map, and the Halloween reskin is fairly enjoyable. 2019, I would choose King of the Hill Laughter, which is a reskin of Slaughter, which is a pretty good map. 2020, all of the maps were fucking terrible, but the two reskins were the Halloween version of Upward and the Halloween version of Bloodwater. I would say flip a coin, add either one of those, but since I have Keys to the Kingdom, I would say that these need serious adjustments to make them not play like shit. 2021, I would add Graveyard because it is a nod to Arena Mode, and I think Graveyard plays okay, and the other maps added that year were either too far gone from base Team Fortress 2 or just outright terrible. 2022 would be Soul Mill, which is the Halloween reskin of Sawmill, pretty good. 2023, Lava Pit, Halloween reskin of Gravel Pit. 2024, Toxic was the best one they added that year. There were no other reskins, and that map just plays really well. It doesn't look aesthetically like TF2, but it's pretty solid in terms of its gameplay. It could be adjusted for its visuals to make it more grounded in TF2's aesthetic, but it's pretty good. And then 2025, the only good map this year, in my opinion, was Dusker, the one that plays inside of a church, and it's pretty small and pretty tight for a King of the Hill map, but it plays really, really well, and that one's of decent quality. So yeah, and then remove all Christmas maps; those will just be gone. None of them stay. None of them stay.
Zesty, you should consider flashing images of those maps on screen because
I will.
Got kind of dense with a lot of names and maps people might not know.
No, I will. Yes, it's a good idea. But okay. Christmas maps would be gone. None would stay.
Heaven.
They're all terrible. They're all tacky, and none would survive. They are horrible. And in my humble opinion, Smithsmiths should have stopped. And this is again another thing I would have done. I would have stopped Smithsmiths at Festives, which consisted of just Christmas lights and just turning on the Christmas lights that would appear on, say, Hightower. Like, that's where Smithsmiths should have stopped for Team Fortress 2, in my opinion. The Festives went too far when they started doing entirely new weapon meshes, like the Eyelander, which turns it into a giant blade of ice. I just don't think those look good in TF2 at all. They should have stopped at Christmas lights because it's still, at the very least, the vanilla weapon model with just some small Christmas lights on it, so the readability isn't impacted too much. Whereas if you have the Festive Eyelander, it's this big blue stick where it's like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I would stop it there. But we're too far off track. But that's what I would do with the maps. What do y'all think?
I think that's a good move. I have my own strategy, which is pretty similar.
Yeah.
Really, my only worry is I think about like, okay, well, and part of this, I try to be a little practical with like, okay, I can't just delete all the hats. Like everyone will be very upset, right?
Fuck them.
And I know, and I like that you're like that, right? But so I try to think, okay, what's a little bit of compensation so there's at least some of this that people can still experience. And I think I'm definitely with you, and I think you can make an easy distinction also if you kind of say, what if we just like demote the status of community maps? Because you kind of realize, well, what are all the maps added since 2015? They're all community maps. There's been like one Valve map or something, or two Valve maps.
I think
right from Jungle Inferno update, right?
Yeah, just Mercenary Park was Valve made, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that was the last Valve made map that was put in the game.
Yeah, I think so. So the solution, I think that would be good for culling a lot of these maps, because I could basically just co-sign what you just said, is that I think what we could do is have kind of monthly, maybe like a monthly mix queue. I heard somebody else talk about this idea where...
That's been a very common suggestion when it comes to handling the map rotation, yes.
And the way you'd see it is that whatever basically community maps are in this like monthly mix, and I would think it needs to be a very small number, like for sure less than 10. And it's a category...
4 or 5.
4 or 5 would be great, yeah. But basically the point is they would never actually be accessible by the core, whatever this... Again, we all would kind of agree that this would not be matchmaking, something more like quick play, and we can get more into that detail or whatever. But our method of getting into a game, not from the server browser, we would only be able to get into these community maps in this monthly mix, basically if they're in the current mix. Because I think what this would encourage too is it still has some, hey, here, we're Valve, we're giving exposure to some community maps, but without this, and they're permanently in the game thing, because this is just an unsustainable method, right? As proven by where we are now. And then it hopefully encourages also community servers to be the ones who can pick and choose and keep alive the community maps that they like, which is, by the way, how things have kind of always, or did used to work anyway, right?
Exactly.
So I'm with the culling. I think just with that small exception of like, I would like there to be a small mix of maps that are from the community, that there's at least a place for things made by TF2 players, but they don't stay in the game. And I think I would also like to see reorganization and options for viewing the maps, right? So we've had for the longest time this like meet your match system where it's organized by game mode. Something I think would be great to see would just be a chronological order of the maps. And even just the most basic indication of like, hey, these are Valve made maps versus community maps. Because I think...
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I mean, and there's ways you could do it. It could just be like if we imagine a system like we have now, we could say that there's maybe a few ways to organize it. We could just click easily and say, okay, rank by popularity, rank by game mode, rank by year, or rank by release, right?
Yeah, different ways to sort them, I think, would be totally fine. Yeah. Because what we have wrong right now, or, well, not inherently wrong, but the problem we have right now is that all of the maps are sorted by game mode, and the ones that are just down further on the list just get less traffic by nature
100%.
of how it's sorted, and that's a significant problem. And that's also tied into the issue of we just have too many maps in the game, which you should not have to scroll through a list of maps in any video game. It should never get that big. If you can't fit the number of maps that your game has on a screen, then you have too many. In a readable font.
I agree.
In a readable font. Like at least font size 14.
Yeah, and I think
it's hardly any different than the community server sort of solution where it's like you click a button that's like let me play, and then it, you know, giant cabinet drawer full of shit falls out. It's still the same with casual. Just giant. Like as a first player, do I know if I want to play CP or PLR? Like I don't know what any of this means, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's a bad distinction a little bit too, because it's like most people anyway pick and choose. They don't just go, oh, give me everything from Koth or whatever. Sometimes, but most people have their preferences.
New players do. I mean, like anyone who's played the game for any appreciable amount of time is definitely going to return to the maps they prefer. But when it comes to new players, it's absolutely the most common selection is everything, if not entire game modes, because they don't know what any of this shit means.
Sure, if you don't know any of them, yeah.
And
you know what? Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, to give a more meaningful reason for culling that many maps, already TF2 like 60 maps is too many. But a big problem that TF2 has is that it's just too many maps to learn. It's too many maps to really delve into and experiment with, where ideally any map you add is going to be something that a lot of players are going to want to consistently return to. And when they're faced with a new pack of 10 maps each update on top of the pile they already have to learn and get familiar with, that's overwhelming for any player, especially new players. And that's a really sour taste to put in new players' mouths, where it's like, whoa, holy hell, 100 maps? Like, what do people play on? Like, where do I go? And then I have to learn all of these? That's a really, really big hurdle. And TF2 had already crossed that hurdle when we had 40 maps in this game. 40 is a lot, right?
Yes.
And
it totally is, because things can only get so good.
Yeah, of course.
We're always just in a semi-new experience of learning the map, you know? And I think this would also be a nice feature of that kind of like monthly mix selection of maps, because then there's a little bit of a sense of like, for this time period, we're all focused a little bit on these 5 community maps, if you're choosing to participate in that monthly mix part of choosing maps.
Yeah.
And then you move on. But then there's still a sense of, okay, within this month, people can start to know the maps in the community mix and actually really engage with them, have map knowledge, have more fun in the maps. It's part of why Badwater and Dust Bowl are like these forever maps, is because you can go back to them and it keeps being fun. It keeps being more fun because everyone's kind of playing on another level. There's none of this people wandering trying to find where they're going. That's like, well, how much fun can you even have? Because exactly, they know where they're going. So it can be deep and rich because everybody understands the game that they're playing, which is nice.
And to that point, I'll bring up this point again. I know I've mentioned this several times on my streams, and I think once on Idle Time, if not, my bad. But I have that massive casual mode data set, and the top 25 maps in the game host 75% of the player traffic. And of those 25, 22 were made before 2012. You know, these are maps that everyone's familiar with, the maps that people keep going back to, and very rarely does a new map break into the most popular, because it's another one on the pile that you have to learn, and the map has to be really, really good or really, really iconic in order for it to break into that top 25. And the ones that have broken into the top 25 are Payload Pier, Swiftwater, I believe. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I have to go back and check my data.
Which hilariously both are old maps and
Yeah,
were
which are
around for
both
years
old
before
maps
they were
that-
in the game, right?
Exactly. Process as well.
Also, the case was
Also another
played for
old
years and
map that was
years
played for
before it
years and
was
well
in.
known. Yeah, exactly. And players are consistently going back to these old maps that are well known and understood, and anything new consistently falls to the wayside because, like, you know, the novelty is fun for a little while, but players aren't interested in investing the time needed to master 30 new maps a year, or 10 or 20, or however many they add on average. And that's why people consistently go back to the main 25 or the top 25. And having fewer maps in the game really just would be a good thing. It really would. It's so many, man.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about playing Gold Rush, the Steam TF2 mod or whatever that just came out, and part of what was kind of nice too about playing that is like it is a much smaller map pool. There's still a ton of maps, but it becomes much more narrowed and focused rather than there being this constant kind of like, oh yeah, I hope the next map is like an actual map compared to like one, you know, this huge selection of random ass new maps that actually no one really wants to play, which again, it's not hate on the map. Maybe it's the most beautiful map made of all time, but I don't want to play with people who have no idea where they're going, or they don't even like. I want everyone to be. There needs to be a fruitful server. There needs to be
there's sort of
competence
a
going
struck,
on,
right?
Yes.
Like, I want to play the maps I like, but you know, I want to try something new every once in a while. You don't want to do all new all the time. You don't want to do only
and vice versa,
before, right?
This is the problem too with maps like Junction or Hydro. Is not that it's not nothing about the actual map. It's the problem. Like even when I was playing Gold Rush this last weekend, we were playing Hydro. You just still have the sense of like, dude, this isn't even becoming real yet. Because with this crazy multi-stage map that takes so much time to learn, it's like, how long is this going to take for it to be even remotely as deep as the strategy is for me already on like a payload map I've played a million times and all the other people have played a million times. I think it would be insanely awesome feeling once it gets to that level, but that's what's been to its detriment, is that I don't even like when people like play Hydro once or play it twice and then like have some opinion on it. It's like, dude, if you just played, you know, Dust Bowl once or twice and had your opinion on it, like we can't take that serious, you know what I mean? Because that's not Dust Bowl yet, and it's the same for Hydro or any map, and it's a reality of things. And it's not even necessarily a judgment of the quality of the map. It's just like
it's just too many. It's not a judgment of quality. It's simply because we have too many, and it's impossible to master all of them and expect for all players to master all of them, especially when the game is free and we have as high of player flux as we do, where a lot of new players don't really stick around. And when you come across a new player, they're already clueless. And when you present them with so many maps to learn, you're only going to be getting into so many games where enough people kind of know what they're doing, where it feels like a cohesive play session of the game. And this happens every time Valve adds new maps, where it's like, oh shit, it's time to learn a whole new batch of them, and everyone's kind of bumbling around the map, and like, yeah, that can be kind of fun in of itself, and people are figuring things out, what have you. Again, it's because all the novelty and what have you is fun. But they don't become mainstays because they don't really become mastered. Everyone goes back to the maps they're familiar with, and they just get left behind to rot.
Yeah,
they really do. And this goes into something else that I would just try to strive for in general if I was given the keys to the kingdom. Casual mentions this idea of a community-made map rotation where
actually I wanted to ask something really quickly.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Topic. Have you guys played a lot of Counter-Strike 2? They have a system that's sort of like that. I guess it's probably also like this in CSGO. I barely remember, but they'll have like Delta Fuse group or whatever the fuck, and then like Ultra Epsilon, and it'll put you in
sick names, by the way,
like Dust 2, and then like, you know, there'll be one that'll have Office in it, and I think that would be a good way to it has potential as a way to do that, to say here's group A, B, C.
Meaning there's thematic clusters rather than game mode clusters.
Yeah, and a ratio of like maps that we know you're probably gonna have fun on, and then one or two that maybe you haven't tried. That's maybe what I would do if I had to solve that problem.
Absolutely, and it's highlighting more community-made content that would be primarily accessed through, in my opinion, community servers. I think that's the best way to do it. Is elevating more traffic into community servers.
Oh, and just relegate all the like dog shit festive maps and shit. Put all of that that in its own like penis group. I don't care about that.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
fine.
Like, and those things would continue to go untouched. I mean, and Valve, like, unfortunately puts those awful festive maps at the top of the list, which just buries all of the other maps towards the bottom. But yeah, having a separate category for those things would be one good step. But then when
they already sort of have something like that, right? With you can load your data or whatever for your preferred maps. Like, just
yeah, you
make
can
that
save your settings.
a fleshed out thing. Have different things like that, different presets of instead of just make it and then maybe download someone else's on the internet. Like, it'd be so much easier as a player if it was like, here's 5 presets that you could queue for, instead of like make your own on your first time.
That's why I like
right?
the chronological idea, because I totally know, and maybe the preset idea is better, but there's absolutely a huge demographic of people that just want to click the classics button. Get me in the classics queue. Get me in basically those top 25 most played maps we've talked about, right? That, hey, most of them actually are from the first few years of the game, but just like get me in that
I feel like Valve is sort of running from the fact that people want the older experience. I think they've been kind of living in denial of that.
Well, it's because right now novelty is what sells, man. Novelty is what sells. It's
novelty is
really
what's been selling for 16 years, man. It's
well, of course, but I mean, more
their
so
formula is built on novelty now. It's not necessarily to say it's like that's the reason people play TF2. It's like, oh, well, the reason they play that game is because they keep shipping Halloween updates. It's like, well, no, it's actually because there's this strong foundation of the legacy stuff they built that keeps everyone playing the game at all. But I guess. Yeah, go for it.
And then the periodic stimulations for the economy come from novelty, and the periodic stimulations to resuscitate the bloated corpse that is this game in some ways is they pump it full of new maps, they pump it full of new hats, and the game still looks alive from the outside looking in, right? Because I've explained this a million times. I won't say it again, but like they keep TF2 looking alive. Therefore, that microeconomy is not going anywhere. Therefore, CSGO's microeconomy is not CS2, whatever. People are going to get mad. It's all the same game. That microeconomy is not going anywhere. Therefore, it's still safe to keep gambling away billions of dollars a year in a Counter-Strike. But I think when it comes to the curation of maps and setting aside different categories, I want to touch on highlighting community content a little bit more. Is really putting more eyeballs onto community servers, because that's always been an integral part of the game, and a lot of exposure for community servers got ripped out of the game back in 2016, where community servers up until that point had always served as the place to enjoy very derivative alternative game modes like Versus Saxton Hale or Prop Hunt or Randomizer or what have you. It always served as the place to play other non-vanilla maps, not even just festive ones or Halloween ones, but just other community-made maps. And come June 2016, Valve was, really seemed to be working towards maximizing exposure for these things, at least via quick play, with all the advanced search options and encouraging more people to kind of, be more deliberate with their choice of servers by having so many different options to really curate their search inside of the server browser, or even with quick play itself. And it's just such a shame that they immediately stepped away from that right when it seemed like they were really honing in on a good balance between highlighting what's officially in the game and also what the community is making, and just keeping that balance really, really healthy. And then they could then tie that back into like, hey, here's your seasonal or highlighted map rotation of what the community has made, and these can be really cool. And then that could be tied into like, oh wow, these have been featured in this community tab, and like, oh wow, this one's good enough to be officially added to the game. It would make a new map just that much more special. A new map added into official Team Fortress 2 that much more special, instead of just dumping whatever is flashy or new that was put on the workshop, And I think that is a very, very missed part about Team Fortress 2, is the highlighting of community content, and then how it was a lot more special to have community-made content put into the official base game, instead of it just being another cash grab like it is right now.
Yeah, it used to be such a huge deal to have any community map added to the game, or just any map added to the game was like, whoa.
I mean, some of those early guys who made, like the black box and items like that, those guys made a lot of money back in the day.
Yeah.
Being contributors for TF2, and now it's like the what show. Every YouTuber can get an item in the game if they just like try. No shade to the what show. Shout out to Shout out to the What Show, okay? But
Yeah, the What Show,
it doesn't
Fish Stick
seem
on a
special,
Stick.
right? It's
They
like
have items in the game
if
now.
you're around, if you're one of those people who's like sick enough to still remember this game and like you're dedicated enough to get something in the game, chances are you can make it happen if you have like anything resembling a platform. You just probably will.
It is pretty funny that you mentioned that, and this is a bit of a deviation away from the topic at hand, but I do find it quite funny that like if a YouTuber got an item in the game in 2013 or 2014, that would be nuts. But
That would be nuts.
when a YouTuber got their item in the game, a la the What Show or Fish Stick on a Stick.
Well, it was mythic. Like they did this with
no one really gave
Notch,
shit.
right? They gave Notch his own hat, and that was like, oh, it's so mythic and awesome, like
Yeah,
legendary, awesome sauce.
But like
you know?
Valve has pumped so much content into the game at this point that when YouTubers got their content put into the game, no one really gave a fuck. It was just like, well, it's just another one on the pile because it wasn't special anymore, right? The curation wasn't special because it's just more stuff to sell to make the game look alive, right? And
Right.
again, this isn't like digging on the quality of the items they made, because I think Gobi Glazed, which is made by Fish Stick on a Stick, is a very good skin. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not special when you have.
But it also just
hundreds
it feels like a product of boredom, right? It's like, oh,
It
I'm a
is.
YouTuber and I don't know what to do. I guess I'll make something, see if it gets in. You know, it's not really interesting. So there's no Valve.
I think well, that's the whole thing. The climate has just changed for what constitutes an update, right? Because I think things have totally shifted. Where back in the day, a TF2 update really meant a lot of like charm and salesmanship and wrapping paper and bows to whatever you were getting. Meaning you might not even get a high quantity of things. You might get in an update like 2 maps or like 2 weapons or something.
Like the 119 update literally was like we changed like the heavies minigun rev speed or something, and they still did like a whole page for it, you know?
Right. But you have they had a lot of the copy around it and the visuals and the update page, and the point is they made it feel special by that effort. And then at some point, Valve does no effort really in that regard, or they phone it in once in a while. But basically, it shifted to, okay, the community does everything. But it's kind of like no matter how much you give us 1,000 war paints and 1,000 unusuals and 1,000 maps.
Right, and this is
But if I just need a little bit of that charm, a little bit of that. Just give me a nice write up to make me like one of them.
I was so doomer black pill about fucking about Versus X and Hail, because it was like I'm playing this as like this should be awesome. Like even if I don't think this belongs in the game, like this is a beloved thing coming to the game. Like Valve stamping something, they're adding like a crazy like what the fuck, they're adding like a new game mode to TF2. What the fuck? It was like it was so insane. And then I got in the game and I was hearing like a guy do an impression of the Scout, and it's like now the TF Wiki is like, yeah, the Scout is voiced by Nathan Vetterlin and James McGinn or something. And I think like they can't even like imagine the bar is on the floor, man, to be like let the community make the whole game mode. Can you at least not let the community voice the Scout? Like what the fuck? Come on, what are we doing?
He's alive.
You're touching on something really important here, and this is something I've been harping on for years, is that the quality of what they add really diminishes how special something is. When the quality of something they remember, Versus Saxton Hale just didn't work for the first 3 weeks. Let's not forget that.
Oh god, what a nightmare!
I know. And then you have the quality of so many other things, not just maps, but war paints and hats and unusual effects, where it's like, okay, where you used to have really good curation, where and of course I'm sure someone has screamed this in the comments by now. But most maps added after, 2009, 2010, those were mostly community-made too. But the difference between those and the ones we get now is that those had a significant amount of polish. Those had a significant amount of quality, and they were very, very good. If you were to juxtapose any community-made maps from before 2015 against the ones we get now, you would notice a significant, palpable difference in quality, not just and that's the big problem, not just the volume of what we receive. And it really reduces the value of what's put in the game when you can have, just to use a simple example that people could perhaps get behind, a classic community-made unusual effect, say, I don't know, Frostbite was one of the first community effects ever added, juxtaposed against a literal PNG of a pumpkin with candy falling out of it, right? where it's like, oh, these things are being placed on the same pedestal as having the same value. So it's like the bar is being set, as Richter said, very, very low, if not subterranean, where it's just not special anymore. And that's a whole element that, if I were given the keys to the kingdom, ramp up the quality of what is being selected and really, really picking the stuff that deserves to be in, a video game that comes from a multi-billion-dollar company.
Absolutely.
Well said. Well, what about you, Richter? You've been a little quiet this whole time. I mean,
I don't mean to. I don't want to intrude, right?
No, well, yeah.
This is about all of us, man. We can deviate away from content stuff.
Tell us about your vision a little bit.
What would you do? Okay, so Richter, what is the first thing, the biggest thing you would do if you were given the keys to the kingdom? What would you do?
I've got plenty to say, Zesty. I'm not going to start there. I'm going to start with what you asked, Casual. I mean, in the group chat earlier, right? You were prepping. What you said was, quote, if you obtained full control of TF2, what would you do? You shouldn't feel limited by practicality too much because the prompt is hypothetical and obviously not realistic. So don't worry about like Office/Valve politics or whatever. Just imagine that you really have control of the TF2 team and you can hire whoever, do whatever to the game, etc., etc. What I'm going to approach you with about this, Casual, is probably a more childish approach than what Zesty did. I went kind of like all out, like no strings attached. What would I want? Like fuck the rules, fuck everybody.
That's right.
Like,
fuck the reception.
Yeah. And if you know anything about me, Casual, which I know you do, like I'm a giant nerd for like the launch TF2 era art and like concepts and all that. I love the 1960s Western spy tech setting. I love the visual style of the game, the color palette, obviously the way the characters were designed. So what I couldn't get around with your prompt, and I didn't ask because I figured it would be more fun if I just tried to explore from both angles. I didn't know if you meant like if I have full control over just Team Fortress 2 the game, or like Team Fortress as an intellectual property. So I kind of thought about both. Okay.
Here we go.
Adding the
regardless,
class.
Okay. Regardless whether I was controlling the intellectual property or just Team Fortress 2, the game that's on Steam right now. Most of what I do with TF2 would be about exploring that side of things more, or like helping people fall in love with the earlier vision of the game that I've fallen in love with. If I just had control over Team Fortress 2 as a game, it's cliche. Obviously, the first thing, the worst thing harming Team Fortress 2 right now, I know, this is, we say this every episode. It's obviously the matchmaking system. It churns players. It's not how the game was designed to be played, and most people have come to really dislike it since it came out in 2016, right? And that's think about the first thing. 2016 is a month away from being 10 years, right? Like it's been a long time that this has been, gouging this game to death, right? And that's one thing we did with Gold Rush recently. Since you brought it up, I'll mention it again. Like feeling what it's like to just have these like long social matches of like full servers, and you can like hop into them at any time of the day and like invite your friends to come and go as they please. Like just right click and join, and I get in this guy's lobby. I don't have to interact with this fucking party system. That reminded me of the era that I loved so much with this game, right? And I think it's like it's a colossal shame that people are being robbed of that, right? Like it's really terrible, in my opinion, at least. I think that's like the worst thing with the game. And so I have to get that out of the way, even if it's been said before, right? Good, sure.
And just to quickly interject, it's not only a crying shame that generations of players have been robbed of that experience, but it's equally a crying shame that we have to deal with so many people either gaslighting or doing it for some kind of social clout to try and tell you that, oh no, it's actually bad if you want these things. That is just, it's so disheartening that we have to even fight for that in the first place.
No one nobody in the real game engaging in earnest says that. You're just on Twitter.
Well, no, of course, right?
I gotta break it to you, okay?
Well, Richter, and that's my point. Is like it sucks that we have to deal with that at all. Like it's just something that should have never happened.
You're gonna have to always deal with Twitter being insane. I think the more like if you want to talk about something that's a little bit what's the word, insipid or insidious. I think what's more important than people on Twitter being idiots, because it's literally like idiot.com. That's the whole point. You log on. You can be a smart person. You log on Twitter. You'll look like an idiot soon enough. I did that. My advice to anybody who's a YouTuber or anything resembling a public figure, I didn't use Twitter before I had YouTube. I had no reason to. I didn't care. And then I kind of came to believe like, oh, this is important for the brand to have like, I need an established community and following somewhere else. Twitter is there to piss you off until you get mad, and it's there to appeal to your need for attention. So if you think you're not susceptible to that, if you think you're not going to get sucked into saying something stupid that people will follow you around with forever, think again. No one's immune to that. Nobody's immune to unplug from that. It's not good. Stay away. If you're someone who's not
what you say about Dust Bowl.
True. If you're someone who thinks that I haven't had a use for Twitter, don't think that because you're a public figure now it's time to have a Twitter. That's really stupid. It's the exact opposite. Twitter benefits.
Twitter's like candy.
It's the people. It's for the people who win on Twitter are the nobodies who are just making like oh, I made Carly Rae Jepsen look like an idiot. That's the point of Twitter.
I ratioed Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Twitter. So if you're thinking that's where I need to be as a guy who anyone needs to respect, you're very, very wrong. Which is why I've stopped using it in the last year or two. But anyway, where the fuck was I? I was talking about
You were making TF2 in your own vision.
Yeah. So first off, just like get rid of the matchmaking system, revert it back to how it used to be.
We all basically co-signed. There's like we could get into nitty-gritty, but
I mean, I would say the overwhelming majority of TF2 players would agree that just getting rid of the matchmaking system would be a massive improvement. Like it's one of the first things that should be done.
I'm not even particularly partial to quick play. I think quick play, we talk about quick play because it's what it was, what the system was before casual existed. I'd be okay with just having the server browser back and just like, let's just be real about what the server is.
Just make sure, let us connect to Valve servers, dude.
I'm not, that's the bottom line to me is like, I can't join Valve servers and the Valve servers are using this like extremely tortured rule set. That's what matters to me more than like, I can't use this specific form of queuing. I never really wanted to queue in Team Fortress.
And no one really did. It was like a larking thing. Once you played the game for a few hundred hours, you wouldn't fucking use the quick play thing because it also took longer than just opening the server browser.
It was a nice feature for your like your like 4-year-old
for your live gameplay commentary or whatever.
Whatever. Past the matchmaking system, obviously. The second, and I already kind of mentioned this, but the second thing I'm super passionate about with TF2 and that I've become more passionate about with time, I think the art style of the game was seriously butchered. I think there's tons of items and maps in TF2 and all kinds of other, whatever you would call them, like unusual effects and war paints or whatever that don't belong in the game. Can
we fiddle with that? And so you go first. I know I would have a lot of stuff I'd want to just outright remove. But you go first.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about that earlier, and I agree with a decent amount of what you said, Zesty. Like, I would rearrange whatever company assets or company personnel or company quotas or whatever I need to rearrange. Whatever's necessary to have like extremely ill-fitting or poorly designed cosmetics and maps, either removed outright or if that's not contractually possible, maybe like Halloween restrict them. And I would also say, like, no Halloween or seasonal updates ever again, to be honest.
Yeah, fuck them. I agree, dude.
I agree.
And I'll go further. I'll go further. If we can't get rid of
go further.
Bro. Halloween restrict all your unusuals. Halloween restrict all your war paints. I don't give a fuck, bro. Fuck the economy.
I agree, honestly.
Fuck viewing TF2 as like a Barbie vanity toy. I like this for its value as a fucking video game, okay? If I don't have to walk on eggshells with this shit, then I would just fucking forsake all of that. I don't give a fuck. Okay, get rid of all of that. I don't care.
Me too. Like Richter, I will.
Maybe if you need to give these people some recourse, go like turn their unusual into equivalent priced Bored Ape NFT. If you buy into this stuff, we'll do that for you. Okay, Valve provided Bored Ape NFT
cash out system.
Yeah.
So Richter, I'm honestly completely in the same boat, and I know people are gonna get like pissy, at least at me. It's like, oh, you're being a hypocrite because you like skins. I mean, skins were never needed. I would just outright remove them. They just shouldn't be in TF2. I would remove unusual taunts. I would remove like 90%.
I forget this shit is even in the game. This is
right?
like brand new to me still.
I would remove unusual taunts. I would remove purchasable taunts. The only taunts that should be in the game are the
Premium
ones that
taunts,
ship
get
with
them
the
out.
characters. Yeah, get rid of all those. I would get rid of unusual weapons. I would get rid of skins. I would keep festives and bot killers. In my opinion, those are fine
I
because
get rid of all of it.
because those are still at least
Bot killers are ridiculous.
They
That's
are.
what I
They
can
are.
understand.
Listen, they are.
Or
but
rework the bot killers. That's what I would do.
Okay,
That's my word.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I would make the bot killers more like the knife and the wrench instead of like a dangly ball sack. But at least those still look like the vanilla weapon models with just a little embellishment. I think that's okay. But beyond that, I would nuke all of the really gaudy shit, and I would nuke like 90% of unusual effects, and I would ensure that most of those were insanely rare. Like pretty much anything after Gen 1, I would just cull immediately.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever played like the Halo Master Chief Collection. When he launched that, it's like, do you want to play the kosher version of the game, or do you want to play the custom moddable version? Maybe it should be like, instead of Halloween restricted, it should just be like the silly executable. Like play TF2 normal or TF2 silly mode with my premium taunts, where I have my I'm driving around as the soldier in a bumper car with lightning that's purple flying all over me. Make that a separate fucking experience. I don't want to put up with those people ever again in my entire life, okay? I don't give a fuck. That's basically what I made with Gold Rush, okay? That's what I wanted, okay?
Or make a toggle. Turn off items. I would love to have that.
That was on my list. Was literally just even like a no hats toggle or whatever, because people go through all this effort to constantly keep that shit updated. It's like,
I would absolutely add a toggle.
And by the way, we added that. I'm sorry to even. I promise I'm not trying to redirect to this.
No,
we have we have a command in Gold Rush. It's called CL_no hats. It didn't even take 20 minutes to implement that. It took no effort. From
that's brutal.
By the way, our
don't let the masses know.
Bro, our programmers on that mod are like fucking like Lithuanian 11-year-olds or something. They're like it's like fucking if Valve could do this. Like also they're not it's not like I'm not being literal.
Well, that's awesome. Shout out to your Lithuanian 11-year-olds carrying us on their backs.
I'm kidding. I'm exaggerating.
That's badass.
We have a guy who's like a 19-year-old Romanian guy. But a 19-year-old Romanian guy in 20 minutes could implement that, okay? Like it's really really easy, right? Like
which by the way, of course you could, because I mean, a Romanian 19-year-old is pretty powerful.
True. Shout out to Connie. Anyway, by the way, I would be okay with like if what it takes to stop the infection of like ugly, terrible shit seeping into TF2, I would be okay with changing that to like a battle pass if we had to. Like no more Halloween updates, none of that. Give me like a battle pass of like people can
pay $25 a month to keep seeing your unusual.
Oh yeah, like World of Warcraft. Like I might be willing to put up with the game just being like on a $5 subscription fee, like World of Warcraft or something, if it means the experience is consistently great and like well curated. Okay, TF2 is like that good at its core for me. I'm tired of TF2 being like a theme park more than it's TF2. It's bad. Like, if this was happening to any other beloved game like Halo, where all the content getting added for fucking 15 years to Halo, which has nothing to do with festive anything, was like, welcome to the Spartans fucking skeleton dungeon where we're running around as ghost Spartans. Everyone would be like, this is retarded. Stop. Everyone would do that, okay? Everyone would do that for any other game. They don't do it for TF2. With TF2, it's grandfathered and it's like, if you don't like Scream Fortress, I mean, that's the game. I mean, you don't like Marasmus? I mean, fuck Marasmus. Get it all out of here, okay? I don't care. I don't give a shit, okay? Get rid of all of it. And after that, so after my, Richtism, was that what you call it? Like I was gonna play on like fascism.
I like Richtism.
That's like sounds like
closer
autism,
to autism. I like this. I like this.
Anyway, I would after that I'm deploying like the best art team I can to go in and give certain items that are like mechanically very fun and iconic to TF2. Give them like very beautiful makeovers.
I love that so much. The restoration.
Dude, I was talking about this on stream today. There's so many good items in the game that just don't look like they fit at all.
The Widowmaker is so fun, but what the fuck is that? Yes. It's like a power drill.
It's literally like Deus Ex. That's where it came from or whatever, right?
Yeah. So I'd go in. The Widowmaker, the name is cool. You make it look like something else. To me, TF2 is already like probably one of Valve's like lesser profitable economies, and it's certainly made them like a massive fortune already.
Easily.
And if they wanted to build the economy after they tank it, like they could always just make the gameplay better. make it easier for new players, make some efforts to bring in new blood, and just or even like elaborate on Team Fortress as a intellectual property itself, and that brings me to like my second set of things. Okay, where I'll go a little kooky, I'll go a little wacky,
good.
Maybe lose some of you guys. Like if I had reign over the entire Team Fortress IP, like I could do whatever the fuck I wanted with that. I was at Valve and I could tell them to do whatever. Like Gabe Newell died and for some reason I was in his will or something. Like I would tap into like the serious untapped potential that like this world and its characters have. Like I said earlier, like I'm really into the whole stylized, the way the game is stylized. I really love specifically like how many games you've ever seen that are like spy tech 60s Western. That's like never been done before.
None
like,
of them.
Like,
not really.
James Bond in the American desert. James Bond in the American desert, and it's meant to look like a J.C. Leyendecker painting in the Cold War. Like this has never been done before. And then like it's kind of got this like funny edge to it, where it's like spy versus spy. Like who knows who's gonna win? And you know maybe you win, but then it doesn't matter the next round. People never talk about that. Anyway. Sorry, I'm a little fired up. Okay?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm at the edge of my seat.
That's another thing, by the way. Like people in 2007 love this art style. People today are appreciating it. People go into Gold Rush. I tell people like this is, or I'll go into Gold Rush. I'll just ask people like, what do you think of the mod? Because I helped out with it, and I'll hear back from people like, this is so great. Like it's been so long since I've seen TF2 in a state where I can tell that everything makes sense and was put in a way that was intentional, right? So if I can appreciate this, if like the modern Zoomers can appreciate this, why couldn't the next generation appreciate, you know, this stylized mid-century spy tech world? It's not going to go out of date. And if anything, it's only going to seem more appealing as we, you know, trudge toward like terrible AI visuals. Like people are still going to be able to appreciate good timeless visuals no matter what, right? When you're looking at timeless art and you get inspired by timeless art like TF2 was, it gives your shit a timeless quality. So I would love to like find new ways to introduce that to people who maybe don't even care about gaming. Like casually, you said you were not a gamer when you got into TF2.
I was not,
hooked in by something very different. Like I would love to see a racing game set in TF2. And I know there's the Sonic All-Stars or whatever, but like you know, like I love looking at like even like the vehicle designs in TF2, right? Like you know,
I love Mario Kart. I'd be so down.
Well, you guys know about the Sonic All Stars that has like the heavy in it, the old Star video.
Yes.
Anyway, like the world of TF2 is so fun to walk around in. I'm like autistic as fuck. I would as a kid just like look outside of 2 Fort and be like, damn, I wonder what that like house over there is. It's like the world looks really cool, right? Yeah,
it does.
Like I would love to. And especially because the vehicles in the game look cool. It's just like really like Asperger's at this point, but like the truck, and you look at like the concept art for how they made the truck.
The yellow
like, the
truck.
dumpster, you know, there's concept art of like, and Zest, you can throw this on screen just for people who maybe haven't seen it. There's like a unused like trailer art, like of like a old mid-century like a trailer that you would see in a trailer park in the 60s. There's stuff like that in TF2's art, and it's so cool. Like it's clear that when they designed it, they thought about what the vehicles were going to look like already. There's like a bunch of potential there to like drive around on really cool, you know, especially because it's the desert, so it's this big open area. You could totally drive around in a big, nice open world like that. There's totally a ton of potential there, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or any kind of open world in general. I would play an open world RPG game. Like I would love that. Like go around, like tell me about the people of Dust Bowl. Tell me about the people of Dust Bowl, the beekeeper of Dust Bowl. I gotta go. I gotta go do quests for the beekeper of Dust Bowl.
We're touching on something.
The mercenary shop. Where did it?
This is sounding like a crazy surreal dream I've had.
Man. You know, where do the mercenaries get their weapons from? Show me the Dust Bowl arms dealer. Let me go do quests for that guy and go buy weapons off him.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Go clear out this mine full of robots or something. Like I don't fucking know.
Yeah, let me just do some mining in between, some manual labor. let me tend to the wheat fields and CP granary.
No man, if you wanted to, but like a good writer or like a good designer could do all kinds of things there because it's such a deep well of a beautiful
it's a nice
world.
Universe. Wow, you're like, let me franchise this. You're taking a like
bro.
Disney
I think
Star
it has
Wars
the potential.
approach.
Yes.
I think
you can really make this style and setting. You could make this appealing in any style of game. Like, and that's evidenced by like the various popular TF2 fan games over the last 15 years, turning into like a beat 'em up game. Like, have you guys ever seen that? There's that old like beat 'em up TF2 Flash like pixel art game, or like arena shooter. There's like Open Fortress. Like, people clearly would do that.
Yeah.
Like they would show up for that. They would love that. Every fucking 5 months, something goes viral on Reddit that's like, imagine if they really finished that TF2 Netflix show they were gonna do, or like there'll be some
Viral
mock-up
on
of
Reddit.
like the real the live action TF2 Netflix show fake poster someone made. Like, people go nuts for this shit. There's clearly people who want it, and that's why I would say TF2 is such a untapped well of creative potential. There, were you gonna say some casual?
No, I mean, it's just interesting. It's appropriate for the era because it's kind of what I hate about present day is that everything gets franchised and turned into like 35 extended movies about
I would
whatever
want it to
type
be
of
good.
thing.
Okay,
But no, exactly. But if it's gonna happen, hey, I mean, yeah, exactly. It would be sad if it was bad.
I love this so much because it's invoking memories of when Valve was dabbling in the idea of a series on Adult Swim, where they were thinking about doing a series, a show, something on Adult Swim. I don't know what they had in their minds, but it would just be so cool to like even have at minimum just an additional layer of thoughtful and tasteful expansion of the Team Fortress world that didn't
I remember like
people are
watching
gonna
Meet
say,
the Spy as a kid. Okay,
yeah,
go on, sorry.
But like I was gonna say, like people were gonna say, well, what about the comics? The comics very quickly deviated into kind of wacky and kooky territory, kind of so far removed from that 60s spy tech in the desert, very wild
and because it's different
fantasy.
artists, right? And
Sure.
and new writers and all that.
Different writers and artists, but like it would be so cool to have at least a little nugget of something grounded in the original launch vision
But
of
casual,
Team
tell
Fortress
me
2.
you can't see the vision of like the Badlands racing game. Tell me.
No,
it could
but
be fucking awesome.
no, exactly.
That'd
I
be
just said it with
fun,
a
man.
reservation that
Like, I'm
don't
trying
want
to
to be
think,
bad, but it'd be
has-
great.
like,
if it was
when it
great.
comes
Imagine,
to-
hold on. It just came to me just now. Imagine it's like a Mario Kart kind of thing, and like the powers are like throw a shell or something.
Sure.
Imagine it's like you're in a big ass truck, and your ability is like a fucking some goon like leans out of the window and like shoots at the guy next to you as like a power. Like, there's so much you could do,
dude. It would be.
so
Yeah,
much
there's a lot
creative
of fun
potential.
potential. Yeah, keeping it in that
It'd
realistic
be really, really fun.
world space. Yeah.
No, yeah, and like
And that's oh, go on, sorry.
no, and sure, and like racing game, right, is just one of many pathways that a TF game could go, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a racing game. Racing game is, but like, has there been a super stylized and thoughtful racing game?
I mean,
I'm
there
not gonna
kind
say
of
no, I
hasn't
don't know a lot
been
about them, but
what TF2 has been for shooters. I don't feel like
Something
has
that
happened
hasn't
really in
been
a lot
done
of
for
mediums.
racing games.
well, racing games.
Well,
Racing
yeah,
games. One thing
well, I
about
don't
racing
know.
games is they're great for like atmosphere, and that's like what a lot of people will do with the racing game is make like a really nice countryside. It's like just really pretty to drive through in like Europe or something. Like what's that one game? Trackmania or whatever is a lot like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can totally
Turismo or
do that, but
something.
with like a world that's even like crazier, like a world you've never seen, like this crazy spy tech 50s world. Like, you could totally make that worth driving around and just like, oh, look at that
It's
cool
super
building,
untapped. Yeah, because it always goes modern, right? Current, you play Euro Truck
most
Sim
do.
or whatever, or you're doing
Mario
And
Kart.
that
Like
alone, like
futuristic
just set in
fantasy
an
stuff.
old world, like set in the past. That could be cool. As
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
all,
without
all
going into
racing games kind of fall into
specifics.
3 categories. It's either like cartoony, like Mario Kart, futuristic, or realistic. Those are the 3
Right.
main pathways for racing games, and like no one's really tapped into a heavily stylized or historic.
It's such a unique
racing game.
theme, man.
And
that
even just
TF2
like,
has.
and even the humor of the game, right? Like, I'm all for taking the game, more seriously than maybe even it was intended to be. That's like something I'm willing to do. Okay, I'm willing to take that stance, and argue with people and say we should take it more seriously. And people will be like, oh, well, what about obviously the humor that was in it, the spies, disguise masks, and all that. And I'll say, I'll temper that, and I'll say obviously there's a balance. And I always try to think about the game in the more serious level, because the way that it was taken was in the opposite direction, to take it very goofy and lighthearted. That's not as interesting to me. But like, even if you wanted to stick within the humor, if you kept even the writing of the comics and the shorts, the super late shorts with new writers and all that stuff, like, even that would make like a fantastic open world exploration game. Go meet these kooky characters. Like people fucking lost their shit for Borderlands, and I don't think Borderlands is that funny. But like that could have just as easily have been like Badlands. Okay, the game could have been called Badlands. Okay, and it would have been people would have loved that. You know?
Yeah,
Borderlands could have been Valve's IP and just been in the TF2 world and maybe been a little funnier.
Yeah, lots of lost potential. There's so much lost potential if you just think, what if Valve around the turn of 2010 decided to just like make games instead of everything else that they've done?
Make games instead.
What if they just kept making games? That would have been cool, right? That would have been awesome. With that infinite budget.
And look, they did this for Portal a little bit. You know, they've got all kinds of crazy shit with Portal. They got like Portal Bridge Builder and shit. And I don't care about that because I'm not as interested in, you know, look at this sterile automated company that is totally stupid. It's not as interesting to me as looking at the past. And you've talked about why that is in your own videos, Casual, about like not wanting to, you know, fantasize about a world of sci-fi bug box stuff. Really think about the not so distant past, and we were more connected to the world around us and building it. But yeah, that's probably what I would summarize. What I would do with Team Fortress as an IP would be is just like I would continue like the art style jihad. I have art style jihad in my heart, and I want to do that. I want to spread that to everybody. I want everybody to have a chance to convert to my art style, my TF2 art style jihad. And I'll take it to fucking platforming games. I'll take it to mining games, fishing games. I'll take it to fucking racing games. Dude, I'm confident it could work in anything if you tried hard enough, right? I would want to see the actual pure roots of this game and how beautiful they are. Because I think a lot of people miss the forest for the trees. They've gorged themselves on the icing of just like the wacky fucking comics and the crazy. I'm playing as Super Mario right now. They totally gorged themselves on that. They lose the essence of what was beautiful at the core, what the original artist put together. And they've forgotten what the cake underneath that icing even is. Yeah. Like I remember watching Meet the Spy as one of the earliest videos that came out for TF2. I don't know if you guys even remember when Meet the Spy came out. It's a very, very long time ago. I remember when it came out and it leaked on YouTube and all of that, and my older brother showed me it, and just like the scale of the world that's implied in that video is a lot bigger than what the other videos imply, because it's like you get this sense that there's this massive espionage plot going on, and when Spy's giving his monologue of like the spies already breached our defenses. Look, he went to this sniper bay that like doesn't actually exist in the game, and like look at all these conflicts that are happening. It really sells you on the idea that there's room for this setting to be treated as something much larger. And so yeah, I would take my art style jihad and I would combine it with a desire to see more of the open scale of the TF2 universe. And that's what I would want to do, and I think people would fucking lose their shit for that. I think they would love it. They would love to hear from even like Miss Pauling again. Make a Max Payne single player game where you play as Miss Pauling and call it The Assistant, and she's going out clearing out warehouses full of goons. I don't even like Miss Pauling. People would fucking shit their britches for that. Okay, they would fucking demand, you know, to give their card to Gabe Newell on the spot. You know?
Yeah.
So that's where I would go with that, Casual. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, that's great. And I think, Richter, you're touching on something, and this is probably a little too far removed from the discussion at hand, but I think you're touching on what a lot, and I mean a lot of people are really, really, they're yearning for this. They are clamoring for this. They are starved. So many players are so
And here's what the fuck they need to realize. They need to realize
Richter,
that what I'm describing is impossible if you don't acknowledge that the game has changed. If you refuse to say, you know, there was a change of hands, this isn't how the original people who made this game would have wanted this to be. If you refuse to acknowledge that as a truth, if you refuse to think critically about it, then anything you make with TF2 is just going to feel like what TF2 is now, which is just a random amalgam of bullshit. So
and that's what I'm
have some discernment. Think about the early game. Don't think that you're going to be able to make something that feels like TF2 if you're unwilling to let go of the baggage of the last 16 years. It wasn't made in the last 16 years. It was made in 2007.
And this is what I was just about to get to, is people are so, in a way I see online, even, I would say, desperate for any video game or any AAA game or something that can come from something that isn't an indie developer. a game with that level of discernment, with that level of care or intention
Right.
or quality poured with all of the heart and soul of the people in the development team, really making something truly beautiful and meaningful and grounded that isn't just chasing whatever the most modern cash grab formula is. Players are so hungry, starving for something that is meaningful again, something that TF2 was and was built to be in 2007, and all of the potential pathways you just took us through for Team Fortress 2 are reflective of that, where really most of the games we've been receiving, primarily from these AAA developers and larger developers in general, are all seeking and chasing after that same formula and really are not breaking new creative ground, where players are being given something like, wow, it's something that my brain can really explore and contemplate and really immerse themselves into.
If you read the 2007 reviews for TF2, they were like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in a video game.
Exactly.
I've never seen
People are so starved for just something to just go, wow. People are ready.
Blackpill the fuck out of you, Zesty. The reason it's not happening is because of Team Fortress 2.
Well,
when
no,
you look at a game like
that's
Team
not a
Fortress 2,
black
this game
pill.
is
That's just
so
true.
Important. This is so important. People have proven they don't give a fuck about the artistic discernment that goes into making something like TF2. It was profitable for TF2 to be compelling at first, and then it was just as profitable to fucking molest it to death with like terrible content that sucks. And nobody cares. Nobody in the public masses cares. They're like, oh, awesome, Warpaints. This is great. I love this. This has nothing to do with anything that happened before this, and obviously the people who designed the game wouldn't have asked for this, but I love this, so I'm going to give them money anyway. And then it turns out that model is infinitely more successful. It's more successful to just farm something that already exists, right? And just fill it with all these things that are proven to make money. That's where the industry is going. And until someone can prove it's possible for a game to be really, really, really successful without, falling back on these things that the games industry has gotten so used to since 2010 with Team Fortress 2, which was the trendsetter for this. By the way, need I remind you, Team Fortress 2 is beautiful, and they did this to it, and that has been the smoke signal. Go fuck up your game. It's easy, and your audience are fucking idiots. They won't care. They don't care if the demo man becomes Swords McGee. They're not thinking about it. They're fucking idiots with wallets. Go farm it. That is the message that Valve has sent to people for 15 fucking years. Longer than that, 17 at this point. Okay? And they've been doing that longer than they were ever making amazing, artistically compelling games. And that's why it's so hard for me to even consider myself like a Valve fan or anything anymore, right? It's
because what are you the fan of?
They did this, bro. Right. They did this to us. Everybody needs to wake up about that, seriously.
Yeah, because what are you the fan of? You're a fan of what they did in the first 15% of their existence.
Yeah, and you're not a fan of what they did to it.
Yeah, you're not a fan of what they did.
I got a little heated. I'd like to apologize.
No,
That's awesome.
you spoke fucking. You were spitting, as the kids say. It was just all truth there, and yeah, it's just true. People have
some fucking standards.
Well, and I think at least now, more so at least in the last couple of years, I think people are increasingly waking up to a lot of what you just said, where players are really fed up with the constant milking of the same things over and over again, and the incessant subversion of what was once beautiful for the sake of earning money. I think
I gotta go harder. I gotta ask you a question, Zesty and Casual. If you spent 9 years making Team Fortress 2 look as great as it did, look fucking amazing, blow everybody's minds in 2007. Just nothing's ever looked like it. Nothing looked like it before. Nothing's looked like it since. It's among the most beautiful things ever made in the medium of video games. And you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to prove that there's a way to do this that's compelling and interesting. I'm going to prove that there's an artistic element to this. I'm going to prove that video games are a place for intelligent, artful design. Because, you look around, right? If you go to a hotel and it's got nice carpeting, that's art, that's design, okay? Nobody ever debates whether it's worthwhile to make rooms look good or anything. But if you look at art philosophers, and when they talk about games, they always say basically the same thing that I'm saying right now, I think, a lot of the time, which is that games could be art, but gamers are fucking idiots. That's the consensus of a lot of art people. And I want you to imagine being someone
Well,
who's
yeah.
dedicated to proving that video games could be art, right? And somebody who spends 9 years building this game, making it look great. Sorry, I know I'm rambling
No,
a little
you're
bit.
good.
Go
You're
on,
good.
go
And
on,
then
go on.
you create this game, and it's so beautiful, and you put so much of your heart into it. You put so much effort into it. You sit there and you fucking sculpt the silhouettes. People don't even know how hard that is to make 9 different classes, and all of them are wearing different pants. None of them are mistakable for each other in any capacity. Their silhouettes are completely different, and they don't rely on any kind of stupid fucking, like shorthand to like, we'll just make one a midget. No, they're
Well, one
all
of them's green. Yeah, exactly.
relatively realistic proportions, at least in the sense that like a painting might have, right? Like obviously there's a little stylization, but not breaking the design and making midgets and what all these other fucking games like Overwatch do of just like, we'll make this guy really big and give him a really big stick so you know he's the guy with the big stick who's really big. Like making humans and each of them look completely distinct from any angle in any lighting without doing any like major tricks like that. That's seriously a lot of effort goes into doing something like that. So imagine you put your fucking heart into that for years, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm gonna push this forward, and then in the first 3 years they're putting fucking purple
Lime green
turds on your
paint or
character.
whatever. Yeah.
Purple turds on your character, and you turn to your boss and you're like, man, what the fuck is this? And they're like, oh, sorry, we made so the launch game that you made that was designed very intelligently, you put your whole heart into, that made us about $2 million. We just added octopus penis to the game, and it made us 20 million. So fuck you, get out of here. Clearly, da 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 da. What impression does that leave the company with, and what does that leave whoever made the game beautiful with? The guy who did that, the guy who's sitting there carving out a beautiful piece of art, he's going to be told, oh, okay, this industry isn't for people like me. The video games industry isn't for people who want to make meaningful, compelling pieces of art. And then the company is like, wow, that guy was, I guess he was useful, but clearly this is what they want. So we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to keep making more games that are like what's selling right now.
Penises.
And they're going to forget that there was ever they don't understand that there had to be something good there in the first place for it to be profitable to destroy it. Okay? And then the guy who made something great is going to be completely demotivated. He's just going to go work on something, and the next time someone is asking him, some creative prompt, like, I want you to make something really cool with this character, their creative boner is just going to completely deflate. Because, like, I remember the last time I did that, and you guys just fucked it all up. What message is that sending to the entire industry? And that's why I think Team Fortress 2, one of the most important video games that's ever been created, okay? And people don't understand why, and they need to think about this game harder. They need to think critically about it. And if they don't do that, then gamers are never going to escape that mold that like pretentious art people have about like gamers are too stupid to da-da-da-da-da for it to be art because they just don't even care. Because like if you talk to anybody who cares about painters or musicians or anything like that,
they're a little
they're
more
gonna have
aware of those parts of it.
Some idea of this person's history or their background that led to it being this way. Gamers don't give a fuck. They're just trying to fucking... Right now, the most popular games are like Marvel Rivals and games that are popular because it's like a gameplay loop that's pretty good, and then they added shit that gamers can like goon to. Okay? This is why we're in a creative wasteland, like Employment said last episode, okay? And that's the end of my rant. I'm sorry I took up so much time, but good fucking God.
Good. No, it's good. I can summarize how all of these people would feel in 3 words. Why try harder? Why try harder? Why bother? Why would you even begin to go down the excruciating, taxing journey of making something memorable and beautiful?
Because art is
unique.
Pain, right? Like art is pain,
art
and life is pain, and art is when you put your life into something, right?
1,000% pain. And why willingly go through that pain to make and birth something amazing and memorable and beautiful when it's just gonna be completely destroyed for the sake of earning money? You're just not gonna do it.
And that's why people say the indie devs are the savior. But even the indie devs, I notice, are really, really like they really are. They aren't as interested in being subversive as I think they probably were a long time ago. A lot of times they're just reacting to the very superficial things that the average like guy complaining on Twitter is like. I wish when games were like boomer shooters and they were really simple, and they'll make like a imitation boomer shooter. They're not trying to
Sure.
push any boundaries.
Well,
They're not
that's
trying
a
to do anything
similar
artful, right?
problem.
Like,
I'll chime in. I mean, I think that's a similar problem in other
wait, Casual.
mediums
Can I
as
get
well.
one more thing in, and I'll shut the fuck
Okay.
up. I promise.
Yeah.
The video games industry has arrived at the worst pits of the film industry in a fucking quarter of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the current era. I think it's a problem broadly. And when we're critical too of gamers, I think part of the problem that we need to understand is that even with your hotel design interior decor analogy, it's not on the patron of the hotel, the person who comes to book a room, to decide the interior decoration, right? There's an expectation that that's something that the hotel has figured out and had people who have the discernment and time to be experts in that do properly so that they can have a great experience, right? And we understand this immediately in gaming with the gameplay mechanics, right? The quote unquote gameplay. There's a lot of clear instant feedback for that, because usually if that sucks, people aren't down at all. But with that other part of it, right, of like, what if things were also a coherent aesthetic experience, or what if they were beautiful in that way? It's just it should be on the duty of the people making the games to uphold it, because we can't expect the consumers to know. It's kind of the same problem with music or film or other mediums. I'm kind of a big believer on, until you do it yourself, your taste is not going to be as refined as people who are obsessed and doing it 8 hours a day or whatever, which is fine, because we all have limited time. So like, I'm going to go to a restaurant so that somebody who cooks all the time can make me a nice dinner, right? And it's the same thing here. But we need that for some reason in games, because all these other elements are so addictive. And we can say the same for other media forms. We've gotten to this point of like, oh, well, you'll eat anything because you just need to not be hungry anymore. What do you mean? What's wrong with this? This is food. And it's like, yeah, but you can also treat food as an art form. You can also have it taste good. Like, sure, the gameplay is good. Sure, my hunger is satisfied. But what if it was like, in and of itself, a gorgeous experience, which is part of why we're here and why we all love TF2 so much, because we recognize at a certain point that there's that sauce, that special thing that TF2 has.
Well,
The stuffing.
This is something you
that
said
other games
before,
don't have.
Casual, man,
Yeah.
where people know that they like something, but they don't really know why. And it's this loss of touch with understanding why we actually really love something that is
proving
really
that they're like
let
the
things get
dumbest.
so
And
bad.
I'm like, I say this as a gamer. I'm a gamer. I don't know anything about art. I don't know anything about that. But if you just peer in for 5 seconds, it's obvious why gamers aren't treated like art consumers. Why they're not treated that way. They don't fucking act like it. They don't act. And they never have taste or interest in how something was made. They just want more of it. They want like copy paste, make more. And it's sad. And there's never a lot of credit given to the people who make video games great. Like, let me go on a tangent here for a minute. Have any of you guys ever heard of Adrian Carmack?
No.
It's zero for me.
So you guys know who John Carmack is?
Yes.
I know who John Carmack is.
So there's no relation, but both of these guys worked on the original Doom. They worked on Doom 2. They worked on Quake. They worked on all these games that you probably know. These are famous ass games. Adrian Carmack, you're not going to have heard of this guy. One of the best songs in the Doom soundtrack is named, and I promise I'm going somewhere with this. One of the best songs in the Doom soundtrack is named after Adrian Carmack, Into Adrian's Pen, or whatever it's called. Inside Adrian's Pen, I think it's called. This guy was responsible for drawing any art you've ever seen in that game. If you've ever seen a cyber demon, or if you've ever seen the Doom guy from Doom 1 or 2, those sprites are basically scans of clay sculptures that this guy built in his room for the game. Every enemy, every monster, every like not the weapons. The weapons are like photo reference that they took of like them holding toys or whatever. But any enemy or any fantastical thing you've seen, this guy spent hours and hours every day sculpting it and putting whatever's in it that's required to make their arms turn or whatever and pose them, so that they could then put a camera next to this thing and scan it and put it in the game, digitize it, and make a monster. And this guy did this for Doom, and he did this for Quake. You've never fucking heard of this guy. I bet nobody listening to this podcast right now has heard of this guy. This guy, I want you to guess how his story ends. He got fucked out of his share in id and had to sue to get his full whatever he was wound up with. He got totally fucked out of the company. This guy is totally integral to the visual identity of these games just got totally fucked. Totally fucked. And nobody remembers him. It doesn't matter that his name was in the credits. It doesn't matter that he had a song named after him. Nobody remembers him. They remember John Carmack.
Yeah.
John Carmack, superstar programmer who gave away a Ferrari. Like this is who succeeds in the games industry. Is the guy who he writes code really good and and by the way, no disrespect to John Carmack in particular. Just illustrating a point with this guy. And
Or
also,
Gabe
by the way,
Newell.
look,
This guy owns the company. Gabe in, please add
yeah,
unusual.
these figures and it's never get they never get that. They just never do. It's always the programmers. It's always that.
And that really is on the games industry a bit because I mean we've talked about this before, which is like it's so hard to be.
Hold on, wait, sorry. I just want to close out the Adrian Carmack thing. I'm sorry, casual. But
it's cool. But
I want you to realize they say that the people who worked on the original Quake and Doom, these guys have like $50 million. That guy walked away with $10 million. Think about how important he was to how people remember that game and how much both Quake and Doom. These are the like best-selling games of the 90s. He walked away with $10 million in share. Everyone else walked away with like 50. I mean, what the fuck is up with that? Okay, go on. Sorry.
WTF, bro. Well, Zesty, I actually want to pivot to I have a few more points on my TF2 takeover list, but did you have any immediate thoughts, Zesty, or something you were wanting to say?
I'm along for the ride here because I admittedly don't think that this deeply about the stuff that I consume.
Okay.
But being around you, Richter, and also casual over the last several years has really convinced me to start thinking more deeply about what I do actually consume and what I view. Hence why I've taken such a shift on my channel, or why I started taking such a shift, because it's like, man, because I used to be the fucking brain dead gamer. I used to like not really think or care that much about what games I played. If it gave me the source of dopamine and filled my time appropriately, that's where it stopped for me. And I feel like I have still such a long way to go before I can really and truly fully appreciate even 10% of what goes into creating a visually iconic and beautiful and remembered game. And so I've just been on the ride here listening to Richter go, and I'm like, fuck. I got a long way to go here because
I don't even know shit, right? I don't even know shit. I'm just no.
And Richter doesn't. You have a lot of knowledge about these things, and like when you just have enough of a human brain to put these things together and understand that, like, even in this instance, someone being wronged for creating that one of the most visually iconic things in the gaming industry, right? And the individual that birthed that and made that is unknown. That is an injustice, and it doesn't take two brain cells to view that as an injustice. And it's like, fuck, I myself have a long way to go in fully appreciating these things where it's like, God almighty. So
hey, until we can do that as a community of gamers, until gamers can take that step and start appreciating shit in the way that other art forms are appreciated by their consumers, we're doomed to the battle pass shit. Happy Thanksgiving.
We are.
No, that's super true. And I always admire when I interact with people who are good at games, because I feel like they kind of make me privy to a dimension of analyzing things that I'm just not, just because they're like in that, whatever we want to say, top 5% of like mechanical aimer control people, you know what I mean? And they'll like, like they'll go play the Gold Rush mod and they'll have like thoughts about, oh yeah, this feels different and this, but and to me, I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm like, this is the rocket launcher. I'm like, it's the rocket launcher, but I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys that you adjust the interp by a 100th of a degree or whatever, and you go, oh yeah, it feels good. But my point is to say, I appreciate and I like to challenge myself to think more in that direction, just in the same way I would like to challenge myself in the other directions of, appreciating the sound, appreciating the visual of something, appreciating the geographical flow of a map, like the way a map maker, somebody who's spent a bunch of time in Hammer and battled with having shitty maps and getting people to test them and all the work that goes through that. I'm sure they have levels of appreciation too, just for all the maps in the game or whatever game they play that I might not have, which is cool. Because the point is, the more you like learn about the way anything is made, or you just start to pay attention, it adds richness, it adds resolution to the way that you're able to just continue consuming. But now there's more facets to it, more depth. And more potential, beauty, and unfortunately more pickiness. But that's the name of the game.
Yep.
You get higher resolution. You see what's there, good and bad.
Yep.
So I want to pivot a little bit while I have the microphone here.
Hey,
just with a few. Yeah. Tell
Before
me.
you do,
Go
piss
for
break. I drank too much moonshine. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone off in the way I just did
Give
if
me
I
a
didn't have a little
second.
Bacardi in me.
It's good. They call it liquid courage, right? Lubricates the soul.
Liquid overtime.
All right, we good, Zesty? How we doing?
We're
back?
good. We're back. We're good. We can continue.
Okay, I'm gonna rip right into it. So
All right.
I want to pivot a little bit. I want to mention a few other things I had on my list that I just think are important to mention. So no one, I don't know if you guys thought of this. My top one on my list, I have 10 bullet points. My top one thing I want to change about TF2 if I get control of TF2, even if I was there for a day, if I had one day, I don't even know if I could do it in a day. But the most important thing that
What?
nobody will mention is I want a behind us voice command or a turn around or they're flanking us or
What
something
about
like
look
this.
up? Yeah.
Well, but even look up would be good. But the number one the thing I always want when I'm playing TF2, when I'm using voice commands that I just don't have is just
Turn
for
around.
the love of God,
Please turn around.
And there's no way to do it besides if I have my mic plugged in and I
Spy?
press V.
Could do
Yeah,
spy,
turn
maybe.
around.
Dude, trust me, I've milked the spy card, but I can't tell you how many times you Uber someone and they're just getting slowly pecked at by a scout behind them, and they just you just can't get them to look.
It's popular among like balance mods or something like this. I do think a sniper call out would be great because how many
Yep.
times are you like you're at like a dispenser or something behind cover like healing and a guy's about to go for it and he just like kind of looks at you and you can't be like there's a sniper. You can't do it. You can't be like sniper
Yes.
head like
Well,
bro, don't stop. Hold on. Like
the
you
voice
never get to
commands
do it,
are
right?
so useful. They really
Yes,
are.
they
A lot
are.
of them, which is awesome about TF2, but you realize too they were probably thought up in 2007 when nobody had really played the game yet, and it's like you actually play the game and go, do I really need to know how to say place a teleporter here? Obviously
Go
now
left.
it's like
Go left. Go
No.
left. Like what the
No.
fuck? What are you doing?
As when it comes to the least used voice commands, it goes to placing buildings and go left, go right.
Yeah, like, and so I would love some updates there just because the voice commands
Yeah.
are so useful. And I swear, if there was a turnaround behind you, I just swear, dude, like the average intelligence of average TF2 players would go up like 10%.
Oh,
Like we'd be in like a
100%.
miniature
yes.
golden age.
Oh,
Because
for
people
sure.
react. You call medic, you call spy, people react. You know, you say
Yeah.
sentry ahead, people notice.
Yeah.
So give us some other useful ones. That's one of the ones on my list. Any other thoughts there, guys?
No, I completely agree. And like sniper call out, look up, look behind. Yes, just complete and total agreement with that.
Dude, hell yeah. All right, so my next one is having a little bit of fun here, which
Okay.
is that definitely if I was in control, right? Okay, from Richter, you get the like brutal, like I'm the new president of El Salvador. Everyone's going to the brutal jail that doesn't follow human rights, and we don't
Yeah,
care because we're
yeah.
making this country safe, right? Richter's like the full on authoritarian. I'm a little more of like what you can expect from me is more troll style. So I'm gonna give some kind of troll style updates.
Okay.
so the
Okay.
the first update, the first big major update I'm gonna draw is called Meet Your Match. And
Oh man.
Okay.
what you
Where's this going?
and okay. So the fun thing is that you notice that randomly placed on a lot of these our favorite maps are little matchsticks, you know, little matches you can use to like match and I'm trying to explain what a match is. You know, the little wooden thing that has like the tips been
Yes.
painted in material and you can use it
Yes.
to start a light. So yeah, this is the Meet Your Match update, and it's all about retrieving like little randomly generating matches, like really tiny that you can find them. And then if you collect enough of them, you get an item in your inventory that is just a match stick. But the idea is this would be my first major update because it's kind of saying, hey guys, I'm in control now. Some things are going to change around here, and to kind of prepare you for the shift. What the matchstick item does is you use it to burn items in your inventory. It destroys an item.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
But it's really just kind of like a fun thing, and you get in the same way you have the gift of giving, like strange
Change is
item or
coming.
whatever. Yeah, we have a items burned like strange item, like some sort of like
man,
cute,
that's awesome. That's
cute
awesome.
little like
I love this.
match pack you can put in your sleeve or something. And it's just sort of a symbolic, like kind of fun, kind of memey thing to like warm people up, like, all right, meet your match. But then they're like, now everyone's on the edge of our seat, right? We do the next major update is called Meet Your Match. And this update is all about the idea that you have a secret matched pair out there. You have a secret other active TF2 player.
So we're turning this into a dating sim, all right? Where we got your
right.
love, your destined one is out there in the void somewhere.
That's exactly right. And
Okay,
basically, there's going to be a hand. You're going to have like contracts that are basically supposed to be clues to help you find your match. And then once you think you found your match, you basically have a one-time use where you can guess to say like, do you think this is your match? You know, and basically you get some kind of prize or some kind of fun item if you correctly guess your match. Right. But imagine this is really complicated, right? And I've hired like a team of 10 people to like theory craft this for like weeks, maybe months, even depends on how much time we have. But those would be my 2 Meet Your Match updates. Those are my first 2 like kind of fun troll updates. And then the next update we would do is just the Gold Rush update, which is just literally the same Gold Rush update from 2008, just again. And
just again. Kritzkrieg. Another Kritzkrieg is in the game.
No, exactly. It's just we just do the same. Yeah, so I would have a little bit of fun with my power to kind of like remind people TF2 has a sense of humor, you know?
Sure.
Okay. You know what would be a fun thing, Casual? Early on, maps had kind of like really weird destructible environments a little. So like Dust Bowl has like one barrel you can destroy or something, and like Granary had like little beer cans you could like shoot around or whatever, and like little stuff like that, or like Watchtower had like breakable windows.
Yep.
I would love for them to add a mode that just like makes the environment destructible breakable for no reason.
That's
like,
really cool.
I just want to see how it plays.
There are maps
let me
that
see
have
what
done
TF2 is like. Let me see what TF2 is like when I can break every window on Dust Bowl. Like I just want to know. It might be fun, man. Who knows? Who knows what happens? I guess the one problem is like some maps might be using like stuff that could be destructible as like boundaries, like glass.
People just be too good. Yeah, they'd make sightlines from everything and like. But it would be fun, I think, with limitations, or maybe you have it where certain items need to do it. I do like the idea of like it's setup time, and your team is like meleeing a wall viciously, like hoping you'll break it before setup time. I think that's kind of fun.
Like zombies and
like you just say, Pyro's got his home wrecker out, and we're just trying to destroy the cement wall.
But that would be so funny. Home wrecker has a plus 25 plus 125
against environment.
Damage, 25 damage environment. That'd be awesome, man. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be so sweet. Do you guys have anything else?
What map would be like the? I'm trying to think what map would be like the worst one to like break windows on, because some of them are definitely designed around being able to see and not. Well, like spawn rooms have like windows. So if you could break spawn room windows on like
my god, dude!
God!
Like fucking Thunder Mountain. Every window on like every spawn room on Thunder Mountain has windows, and you could just break them and start shooting through them. That'd be nuts.
Oh man!
You're making me think of so many small changes I want to, like, you know, on CP well, or I guess CTF well, like you know how there's kind of the main buildings on either side that overlook the mid area, and like right in front of them you have like the little water trough or whatever. When you're in those main buildings, you know how there's like the second floor with like the balcony where you can look out the window and you could, I guess, like snipe or shoot rockets.
Yep.
I would like at least one of those windows that you could actually get out of.
Oh,
I know that's like
that'd be nice.
Potentially game breaking, but it's not. I feel like having a little more dynamics there could be nice. So
not at all.
I think there's like a million things like that. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Also, just getting Arena back in the mode. I'm sure you guys were all on board with that, but
I wouldn't be offended if Arena was like just back in the base game somehow. Even though I don't like it, I think it belongs for people that enjoy it.
Well, what I love about Arena is it's like comp for someone who doesn't like comp, and that's great.
Yeah. Like
there's like a bliss to one life, you know what I mean? You only live once. Who came up with that?
You learn hard lessons, you know?
There are so many like little individual tiny changes that like if you think hard enough for a few minutes, like fuck, I would love this one little itty bitty thing changed.
If someone was ready to just go fuck around with TF2, they could get a lot of
Oh.
interesting results, man. A lot.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, there's one more thing I forgot to mention too. That's on my list. That's actually kind of good. The other ones are boring, but the other one is I want to finish the tutorial levels or like
oh my
redo
god,
them a little bit.
Okay, that is something else I had on my bullet point list too. But continue.
Dude, totally, man. And something I wanted to do that's again, it's a little fun, a little, using my power is I think it would be fun if we, if there's a class specific tutorial for each character, I would want to use it as an opportunity to actually have like somebody who guides you on the tutorial who's technically like a famous TF2 player, like not someone who's canon. Meaning to say, in the same way you can get like the announcer or whatever in your ear or like, Miss Pauling on the tracker.
Yeah.
I would like these people. So, for example, I'd like Germa to like teach you how to play engineer.
Oh
I think you could craft it, but I think there's some like really appropriate ones where like some like kind of old school legends, like dude, having Germa teach you the engineer, like come on, like who would complain about this? And I think it'd be fun. You give him like a sort of stylized TF2 portrait, like Germa himself, but and then you give him some weird name as if he's like this in-lore, like just a dude, just like a contractor dude, and I think that'd be really fun because I think it could be something that like classic TF2 fans would actually like get hyped about, even though it's not.
Here's what
new
we're gonna
content.
do, Casual. You and me, the next Idle Time episode, you and me are gonna build a. We're gonna build the Dungeons and Dragons campaign set in TF2. Okay,
Dude.
we're gonna make Zesty play through it. Okay,
Dude. That would be that's untapped potential.
We got to figure out how to make we got to translate like pipes and stickies into like D&D entities. You ready?
Hey man, have you been a dungeon master before? Do you know how to do it?
No, I don't know anything about D&D at all.
Oh, okay.
For the record, neither do I. So I would just be in for the ride.
Which makes me the most experienced, but I'm definitely not experienced. So that'd be fun. Yeah. And then there's a few other good shouts. Like we put Carnage Johnson teaching you the scout tutorial. I want to do Star on Soldier. Cadis, Demoman, EU representation. There's no way. Yeah, he would warn you about wrist injuries. He'd be like, but remember not to hold the mouse too hard or whatever.
The thing is, Star has like TF2 PTSD, bro. You're not going to get him to do anything. Bro,
dude,
if Star listens, if there's some tiny chance, if Star is...
No, but imagine it's like, I took over, and I'm like, look, Star, I control TF2 now. Do you want to come help do a tutorial?
We get Stabby on...
Stabby's on my spy.
Dude, we gotta get Sideshow on somebody. Cause I would love to see what he would do
EU
walking through.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta say this. I gotta take a second to just say, like, Star... If you know that like any of us exist, bro, give us a sign, bro. We want you on your show. Give us a sign, bro.
What do you mean?
If you know that we exist, bro, give us a sign.
What do you mean exist? That's too low a bar.
Bro, I gotta know if Star knows we exist. Come on, you know
we exist?
Do you think he knows you exist?
He does, probably only for the fact that he like uploaded his first commentary in years in like what was that, 2021? And I basically made a video response, and then immediately after he privated it, I'm not gonna say I'm the reason, but
how many of these TF2 YouTubers have you like killed, bro? You killed Daisy Purple, you kill Uncle Dane, you killed Star. You're like the TF2 slayer, bro. What the fuck?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know for sure, but I just from that moment, I feel like that would be the one moment he might have known who I am.
I need to like clarify. Just there's like a 0.002% chance that Star listens to this podcast, and I gotta let him know.
Okay? Dude, there's no way.
Come to me. I know there's a lot of noise.
Hell.
There's so much noise around Zesty. Okay, you could get scared. Come to me. Okay, I'm a good faith guy. Come to me. We'll talk to you. We'll work something out.
What?
You gotta get on here.
It's like you have to avoid me.
Well, dude,
look. I'm just saying, Zesty. You got a reputation. Okay, I've got less of one. Okay,
it's a reputation that is entirely manifested by the fucking internet. None of it's real.
We'll make something work, Star. Come on, talk to us.
Also, look. To be fair, I don't think Star has like. No, I don't think Star has beef with like any particular community members necessarily. I think he is just literally like, oh yeah, that's the game where I kind of built my career, and I immediately was unhappy with the direction of it from Valve, and then also kind of feel like I got shut out a little bit by the community in certain ways. But I don't think he's like losing sleep over like something Array 7 said or something. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Like, I just don't think he thinks about it, like,
No,
which is
not-
fine.
not- not
I
like
think he's
that
just
anymore.
moved on by like a decade, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
like
But if he still
a
listens, there's a
hater.
chance. TF2 never leaves you. We're all prisoners at TF2. I bet Star is a little too. So there's a chance. I just gotta say, man, if you're listening, reach out to one of us and
If by the way,
give us the nod. We would love to have you, right? Like I think everybody here would.
That would be actually be
would be the
fucking.
most
If we could get
legendary
Star on
thing
here,
ever done. Okay, the
Getting-
most legendary.
I just want to
thing
say
ever.
too, if there is an off chance that Gabe Newell is listening to this episode,
oh my
can you
god,
please give me a Strange Kritzkrieg? Thank
it
you.
would be so fun to pick Star's brain for a bit about all the shit he's went through with making videos.
Dude,
and
I want to
it'd be
hear
so fun.
those old people perspective who watched the pre-meet your match thing happen. I would be so vindicated and happy to see it, because part of the way that
Yeah.
we started to talk more or whatever was I was just like, I have to be the comp defender guy. But it's because, dude, you talk to Star or one of those people, it's like you can still pull up the old video where he's saying he's grumbling in 2014 at the fact that they've been promised a matchmaking system for like a year and it still isn't out yet, which
Yeah.
is hilarious knowing everything that ends up happening. But dude, so many of those people, Eckstein, whatever, it's like the
it's
people who are
the
so
show.
fun.
It's like the it's almost like we're checking up on like Crazy 8 or some character that was in like the first season of Breaking Bad, and like the whole show has happened, and it's like, bro, I got to know what you think of Heisenberg, bro. Everything happened. What happened? Like, let's know.
Yeah,
I want
dude.
to
Oh
know.
my god, I would love to pick some old heads' brains about what they think about the current state of the game and things that also happened in the past. It'd be a lot of fun.
Bro, and that goes to anybody. Like email me or email fucking Zesty or someone. If you're someone who like knows about TF2, if you think you've got a perspective, if you're someone who's like listening and you're like, oh, I don't know, I know about this and these guys are interesting, but I might be in for some trouble if I go on there. But reach out. I promise.
don't
might
bite.
be in for some trouble.
We don't bite. We're human
Or
here.
intense
Zesty
bully
might.
behavior.
Zesty has a tiny little bit of bite that we can.
What-
Me
what
and Casual
fucking
can overpower
bite?
him. Okay.
What
Yeah, I don't even
fucking-
understand. What are you
Stop
talking
it.
about?
You're not helping me
Okay,
here.
Okay. I'm just
I
saying,
haven't
I'm just
seen the
saying.
bite. I haven't seen the bite.
Anyway, okay.
God almighty.
we're civil fellows, but yeah, I mean, I hope too. I want to see some awesome comments from people about what they would do too.
Oh, for
'cause
sure.
I think
Oh,
what I
yeah.
like about the spirit of this is it just gets people thinking positive in terms of what could happen. And of course, look, like most of this will never happen, but
It's
something needs to be
fun.
said too. It's fun, and also, imagination and dreams are the precursor to reality. So it's like you got to dream things up before they happen too. So
Absolutely.
it's like
Exactly.
it's a good practice.
Wow. I mean, what a beautiful episode.
I agree.
So,
I mean,
so gorgeous.
I have like 3 more pages of things that I would change for the game, but I just feel like getting through every single individual thing would be like an episode in of itself, Because a lot of things are very surface level when it comes to balance. A lot of things are much deeper when it comes to steps the game took over a decade ago that I would just revert immediately. And God, it's just like it's there's so much shit you could delve into and things you could do if you're given the keys to this kingdom, man. Oh,
Which it's amazing how much good you can do with a lot of these simple changes, because we can imagine the
absolutely.
more fun ones, but it's
Yeah,
like,
simply Halloween restricting every item since 2010. I mean, how it's such a
simply
simple
just
thing,
the
press
Christmas
delete.
ones.
Just delete half of this shit.
Simply
Oh,
Halloween
sure.
restrict every
But
trader's
even-
most prized possession. It's so simple, right? Like,
I just think,
It is.
yeah,
It is.
just take away their rights. It's like not that complicated. Just
don't
lock
say
them
that.
up.
See, that's
don't
why
let
Star's
them
never
speak.
coming on. That's why
No.
Star's never coming
What do
on.
you
okay?
mean?
No,
It's a
That's
joke.
not true. Yeah, we're having
Oh.
fun. Star has so much fun, and Star told the best jokes, so he would obviously understand.
Oh,
But the point is to say, even if you are walking on eggshells, trying not to do disruptive change, there's so much basic good stuff. Like, it's just like, okay, even if you showed up and you were told we have to maintain this matchmaking system, all right, well, we immediately change the round limits for some of these game modes. We changed the way the voting system works in between maps. Like, there's so many basic things even then that we could do while keeping it.
Thousands of bug fixes that could be done to improve the general player experience. So many things that could be done to improve the initial player experience, like finishing the tutorial,
default FOV 90.
Yes, there's so many little things that could be done to really polish up what's already there, even though if a lot of it's garbage. It's again, comments below, leave them, let us know.
Yeah. And, to Star, who, he used to say...
Who's definitely listening.
They only liked my TF2 videos. I mean, Star is listening right now. He used to say they only appreciated... They didn't appreciate Glorb, my Stims videos and stuff. I just got to say, man, my favorite video of yours was Go Nippon, my first trip to Japan. That was my favorite video of yours. I love that video.
Oh, my God.
We're real fans, okay? It's not going to be an alligator trap, okay? This is your people, okay? Now,
that being said,
and what you're learning right now, this is the power of the ask, okay? The power of the ask. If you don't ask, it doesn't happen, Casual.
That being said, Richter, I have to sadly report that my favorite Star video is Lakeside Force of Nature commentary #1. So I don't know if it's gonna work out anymore.
You don't even like the.
No, I'm just trolling, dude. No, that stuff's awesome too, but I'm just fucking around. I like every video Star has ever made, even the unlisted ones. Okay.
I've honestly was never dissatisfied by a Star video.
Yeah, that was what was sort of heartbreaking to me, is when he would be like, and maybe we're getting into another conversation I didn't mean to get into. But it was so disheartening. It's like nobody ever liked my my non-TF2 videos. Like,
dude, I know.
Years later, I'm not rewatching live commentary. I'm rewatching your videos in GTA 4 with Germa. And those are the ones that stuck with me. Like that stuff was more impactful to me than like the 40th TF2 video.
And I just wish
it's so heartbreaking to like know, like he was like, oh, they don't care about this. Like that's so sad, man.
His gripes with his own content is a lesson in being our own worst critic. Where, overly focusing on the handful of comments of people being hissy and pissy about what you're doing.
And the metrics, too. Sweating this video gets half as many views. It's like,
I'm sure he understands this now, and I'm sure he's,
he
come
definitely
through it all now. Absolutely. Yeah. But, like, it's just such a shame that, like, at the time, like, you couldn't, like, shake him. Like, it's fine. Stop it. Stop being so hard on yourself.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Because it's like, it was like the unspoken thing. Like, he wasn't getting the comment on every video, maybe, but it was like a given to us that he was the face of TF2 for those years.
For a while.
He was universally loved. Of course you're going to attract some haters if you're universally loved.
Doesn't matter what you do online.
I don't know if you were Team Fortress 2.
I don't know if we've ever had somebody like that. For years was like clearly the #1 guy. Because kind of since then, there's
other than Germa, no one's come close. Not even within multiple football fields.
Because even Germa, I think of as being of the Star era.
Yeah.
But he was a little bit. He obviously in the big picture, I guess we could say he overtook or whatever. He built his own career, right?
He was the foil, bro.
But he was the foil, exactly. Star was the star of the show. Germa was hilarious, but nowhere near as good at the game. Okay, blah blah. Now we're just like retelling history. So there was this guy, Star.
Yeah.
And he did awesome drawing videos. Those were my favorite.
Those were great too.
I love those.
The story time
videos, man.
Oh, the one where he was drawing the pyro, or maybe it was his girlfriend was drawing the pyro.
Yes.
Bro, these were like salvation in middle school. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so cool.
No,
everyone wanted to be this guy.
I appreciated that so much from Star because that's what made him appeal to me more than
Impromptu
like other
part 2
TF2
episode.
YouTubers.
Now we're talking about Star. Now the Star episode begins.
Well, it's okay. Listen, it's fine if we do this because I mean it's a nice.
He's watching.
He's watching right now. But and for me, because like by the time Star was really uploading more frequently, I was in fucking college, and like when I was a freshman or sophomore in college, I would always look forward to the next Star video, man, because those things would get me through the darkest parts of my undergraduate years, man. Just God, all of his videos were great.
So good, and that leaning into like also just being a normal person, like before I had any sense too of there being like a competitive scene or LANs or anything, I just remember him talking about like, oh yeah, I went to PAX East. I met some of you guys. And I was like, I don't know, 14 watching the video. I'm like, oh wow, it's like this real world connected to this thing. What am I stepping into?
Here, and this is like parasocial, but it's like if you didn't have someone like telling you to grow up, you would be seeing these people growing up. And you'd be like, damn, I gotta grow up too. I don't know
Which
if that
is
makes
positive.
sense. But like,
No,
yeah,
that makes
no,
sense,
yeah.
and it's a
Yeah.
positive thing. It's a
Yeah.
positive thing. Yeah.
100%. And it's funny you mentioned that, where you have a lot of these guys who not only kind of like grew up with their content kind of and moved on to things. Shit, I had a thought and I lost it. Fuck, what was it? Oh my god. Oh right, about being humans, right? Where so many of these guys shared pieces of themselves and delivered themselves as being human, because this is before YouTube became so cookie cutter and corporate.
Man, and that's so much harder to do on the internet these days, right? Like it's
Where,
it's a weakness.
yeah, it's a weakness to show your true self and be your true self, and not to put up some kind of facade or have an avatar or be a VTuber, that kind of thing. Where in the era of 2010 through 2014, it was them. You know, at least it felt like them. It felt genuine. It felt human.
Dude.
Their interactions were genuine and human, and not fluffed or acted or fake, because it's what earned them money. It's because they were doing these things for fun. And no one else has really filled that void, because, well, we've had a complete shift away from that kind of content. And two, it's like, what's come in to fill that void? I don't want to say anything bad, because I don't want to say anything bad about like what's come in to fill that void is just so. Oh, what's like a food analogy I can pull out of here? It's like you open the fucking egg and there's no yolk. There's just something missing. It's not as rich and meaty and fatty. It all feels so shallow and hollow. You know, either because these people are reluctant to share their true selves, or they
or it's not incentivized,
or they lack the substance, right? Because what's elevated nowadays a lot of times doesn't have substance. So,
and dude, I think both Star and German, now that I think about it too, were so clear in the way they did that, right? Star maybe doing some of his illustration videos, and then even doing a random like fun video about nothing really related to gaming or whatever.
That just made me
but
realize. Sorry.
But Germa with the skits, that's all I was gonna say. Germa with like, oh, I'm doing like a lifting, celebrating 5,000 subscribers, or like, oh, here's Burger Boy and we're doing some weird skit or something. Like, but that was, I think, there was that perfect sweet spot of like, oh, this is a TF2 YouTuber, but they're a person, and you know, and they're just being themselves. Like, I think that's the thing we're getting to, right? It's not this hyper edited. Welcome back to
and you know what sucks? 5. You know what sucks is like a lot of people will write this off as, oh, you're just being parasocial. You're looking for attachment. But like, we're human, they're human. You're gonna develop some attachment regardless. And when you completely shed that human element of connection away from whatever content you're making or games you're making, right, it feels all that much more hollow and all that much more disposable. Where it's like there's a complete lack of charm in so much modern, not only TF2 content, but content in general, content, videos, games, art,
content
media.
Is gonna be parasocial. So it's like we're basically saying, well, what's the alternative? You know, because
no social, like nothing, emptiness. It's like, it sucks too. It's because it's like I hate that it's become taboo to be, you know, invested or have a level of care for the people that you watch or the content you consume, because where it's like, oh, I wonder how this guy is doing, is now written off as like, oh, you're being parasocial. All right, it's like, oh, I hope this guy is doing well, or like, I want to be happy listening to this person again. Oh, you're written off as parasocial. Where it's like, no, you are listening to another human being, hopefully giving their genuine thoughts and interpretations on these things, or their real genuine experiences. And it's like, it's normal to feel a certain level of attachment to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with this, because I think it's just a privilege of modernity that we're able to do this, because it's like, okay, for a long time in human history, you only are really able to care deeply and be invested in the people you actually know in your immediate
that's
life.
The crazy thing is, I kind of have an idea, because I have a thing where I kind of assume like people don't know who I am, so it's weird when I also, this is the way I started that is going to sound like I'm like dropping like a huge ego thing, but like being being on the inside of being a YouTuber, which I have become, and like, it's really easy to assume that you don't leave impressions on people beyond like, oh, there's like a 350,000 people viewed this, and it's like, well, how many of them remember who even made it? How many even remember the video? Or they just remember the topic, or that sort of thing. And I think like, and not to say these people need sympathy or anything, or that they, you know, they need to hear anything from me. I'm not trying to make any case like that, but like, sometimes I wonder if someone like Star, they might assume that since they left, they're not relevant anymore. You know, these things they did with like
Right.
communicating their personality. Like it's been so long. Like who cares what Star's maybe he's thinking like who cares what Star thinks about TF2 in 2015 and he's in 2025 rather. It's not 2015 anymore. And then like you know he's done his streams where maybe his return to TF2 didn't get as many views as he wanted or anything like that. You know maybe it's not as interesting to him. He wants to go back to doing what he was doing, and I understand that fully. What I think that like someone like Star or Germa may, especially Germa who's moved on to such bigger things, right? Like he's like fucking Michael Jackson of Twitch or something. It's insane.
Sure.
What those people might, and this breaks my heart, what they might not understand is that they defined the best era of Team Fortress 2. And you can think like, oh, it was 12 years ago, who even remembers that? Bro, everything is still downstream from what you did because nothing has happened since. You were one of the last electric things that lit up this game. And we're still living off of like everybody I can talk to who's, it doesn't matter how old they are or how young they are. Zesty was definitely influenced by Germa. I've been influenced by
100%.
Germa. We've both been influenced by Star.
Yeah.
And I'll just focus on Star because everyone glazes Germa. Germa's probably not in any need of a pep talk or anything. But I do feel like maybe based on Star's return video, maybe he's got some complicated feelings. Like, dude, I can talk to the newest guy. I can go talk to the What Show or some other guy who started in the last 6 months. These people, if they care about TF2, they know about some clip you did. They know they're operating in the DNA of like the flavor of TF2 YouTube that you left behind. You're TF2 Genghis Khan, bro. Everybody is your DNA. Everybody, you know? So
and even if not YouTube,
I hope they know that.
Yeah, I hope so too. And even if not just the videos, it's like the culture too, so much because I mean, it's kind of like if you were playing the game in those years, you were influenced by those people. It's like, dude, I'm yet to meet somebody who was like, oh yeah, I was big into TF2 2012, 13.
But who's Star? No.
And I didn't watch Star. That's right. Everyone did.
No.
And when I say the culture too, it's just like even market gardening is such a good example because it was totally popularized by Star. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where it's
100%.
like, if it could have been some other thing he was doing, but like there's a reason that it's like it takes a spy YouTuber.
St. Peter for making market gardening popular. He's gonna have that's one thing he'll have to answer for at Heaven's Gates, okay? For making me have to look up when I play TF2.
St. Peter? Is this like a modern guy? Sorry, did I completely miss the joke?
St. Peter, like the gates of heaven? Never mind.
Sorry, I didn't grow up religious. Yeah, I missed it.
I was waiting for it. I grew up Catholic.
You grew up Catholic, yeah. Sorry, I had like hippie parents. So, yeah.
St. Peter is a new TF2 YouTuber. He's making new videos instead of being a background program.
When St. Peter goes to heaven and he has to say where his whole personality came from, it's Star. Sorry.
And so, like, I wanna touch on the Star stuff a little bit because he and I are probably more close in age. Where I want to say, man, like when it comes to the people who have been touched by who've had their hearts touched by TF2 content, I feel like this is like, you know, oh my god, he's glazing Star, oh my god, he's fucking he's like he's being parasocial, but like, hey man, you and the guys you hung out with and the videos you made really showing your true human side and the way you interacted with the game. You guys touched a lot of people, man. You touched a lot of people's hearts. You made a lot of people happy, and the amount of positive influence you've had on literally generations of players and YouTubers for Team Fortress 2, and even those that exist outside of Team Fortress 2, is unmatched. Like, whose heart has been touched by the Chuckle Nuts? Whose heart?
Stop.
Listen,
No more
let me keep
okay.
going. Let me keep going. I'm not done. Whose hearts have been? Who? I haven't touched hearts. Like no one else has had a level of eliciting meaningful emotion and care towards the game and having fun with it and it being meaningful at not only a simple level but a deeper level than these guys achieved before 2014. Like, and this isn't me, this isn't any of the modern guys. Like, it's so different and alien compared to how things were back then. It was much more intimate and meaningful than what things are now. Where, like it can't be ignored, and I really hope he doesn't sell himself short on the amount of influence he's had, because no one else, no fucking
No
Chuckle
one.
Nutter or no one like me or anyone else who started making YouTube
Dude.
videos post 2019 has even come close to the level of meaningful impact that you guys did back then, man. And it's
And I understand
it shouldn't be
he gets
sold short.
so many hate comments, right? But like,
He
imagine
does, man,
he
and I
posted
don't
so many of those.
get
But like,
it.
he has to. I hope he okay. Who knows? This is like parasocial and like weird at a certain point. But like,
Star,
I
if you
hope
can
he.
hear me.
I hope he thinks about it in the dimension of like, okay, you guys, just like imagine being so amazing and integral to something that people hate you for leaving because your absence like ruins everything and like hurts everyone. And you
Right.
become the icon of nostalgia for the good days, especially for something as huge and important and inescapable as TF2. Like think about how massive of a phenomenon TF2 is. And Star is an inescapable part of that.
Yeah, that's
TF2 is
huge, man.
massive. It's
Nothing else.
huge.
Nothing else comes close. No one else comes
And
close
so,
aside from like
what
Germo. And again, Germo aside.
this is like LeBron is like retiring, and he's like, people are telling him to keep playing, and he gets mad. Like, no, bro, you were the GOAT, bro. You defined this. Like, don't take it like that. Like, yes, people are gonna be assholes, but like, you were the GOAT, bro. Seriously, that's all I have to say to Star. And
No,
you should come on all the time.
100%,
We'll give you the Warriors introduction you deserve, bro.
No, and the war. I mean, he kind of deserves it. I mean, and the negative flack
Absolutely.
he got from his exit. I mean, it's so unwarranted, and a lot of the sour.
Okay, I'm not going to
sour
say he
puss people
handled
got
that
about it.
well, but
I'm not saying that either,
Yeah.
but it's
Well-
it's like the analogy you just presented. Like LeBron wants to retire, and people keep telling him to play. He's gonna say, "No, fuck off. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." And that's like the natural reaction any
That doesn't mean he's
reasonable
a hated
human
player.
would have. It doesn't mean he hates
Yeah.
the game. It doesn't mean he hates you. It's just like, why would you be expecting him to continue pushing this when he's clearly done?
And with
He's done.
TF2, and especially with being a YouTuber, it's different from being LeBron. Because if it's LeBron, then it's going to be people in the streets outside the, a clothing store or something being like, dude, you need to go do this. But in TF2, it's specifically a younger audience, and they're anonymous through the internet. So, of course, they're going to say, like, really bad stuff to try to, like, get to you, right? But, like, he needs to... I really hope that he understands that that's not... how many... It's a point you made in your video about this, Casual, of, like, how many times have you seen a great video that, like, really you remember, and you left a comment on it? Like, I've never... I just mentioned
Sure,
that Go-Go
sure.
Nippon video. I rewatch that video every year. Because
Yeah,
I just
dude,
think
like,
it's
I
so
never
hilarious.
leave comments.
I've never
yeah.
left
Yeah.
comments
And
on it.
I've
So think
watched
about the
YouTube my whole life.
millions and millions of people who you were important to.
I will say, too,
that never left a comment, right? Like,
Yeah.
I just want to interject it briefly to anyone who's invested deeply right now in this conversation. Do check out, if you want, check out my video. It's called "What the Return of Star Means." Casual TF2,
Video.
what the return of
Great
Star
video.
means. Because I basically put a lot of effort into just say exactly what we're talking about, the nuance of like, kind of maybe the ways it could have been handled better, but then also like
who can blame
saying
you?
well, yeah, saying why Star was so important, and then also to the who could blame him sort of thing, but just trying to like hopefully find that middle ground, because I think part of it is that for someone in their position, the way that the game went also just does not help things. I think if TF2
of
was
course not.
thriving and looked awesome, he would like have more of a desire to just like spiritually recommune with the TF2 community or embrace that part of him or whatever it is. But I think that's such a huge aspect of it, unfortunately, that like it would be one thing if it was just this sense of push and pull between him and the community that was the inevitable, a bit of the rift, but it doesn't help that like he
Well,
was
no, the biggest
he's on our
rift-
train, dude. He was fed up with Valve way back then.
Yes, and the biggest rift, it all goes back to Valve and their consistent mistreatment and horrific handling of the game. That
I would love to hear
created these
Star be
schisms,
like,
man.
just tell us your story. Oh man, you guys are making me like
Because
fantasize.
he was
I
the
wanna know
first
what
one,
it
I think,
is.
too, who he
Yeah.
normalized Valve criticism. I mean, he paved the way for what we do every time we talk, right?
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
he was the first guy
Absolutely.
to be like, oh, they finally patched this gunslinger bug that's been in the game for like 2 years or whatever.
There's
Eye roll.
only
And-
one Team Fortress 2, and he is a synonym of that like massive staple of modern digital culture. And because digital online culture, that's the future. That's something that he's got shares in that are going to ring for decades. Seriously, he's
Star, you're going to be
I-
turned into an
oh.
NFT.
You probably are already, yeah. I don't know. He's hometown hero of TF2, and I hope.
What would you next episode? What would you do if you could control the IP of *_?
Oh man, no. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh God.
And you gotta love Star though. Even forgive him for his video.
We all love Star.
You gotta love.
No,
him.
it wasn't
You
even a
gotta
bad
love him.
video, but I just responded to it in the video I made. But it was just like
that was
you can just
great.
tell he was hurt and burnt, and it's unfortunate because
It sucks.
we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really sucks to see somebody like that get burnt in that way. It just does. And the worst part is, like, as a kid, I had this kind of knee-jerk reaction when he went to Overwatch and like all these other YouTubers going to Overwatch. Like, I looked at Overwatch's trailer and I was like, oh, so there's like a short guy with a wrench who repairs sentries. Well, this is like the most shitty knockoff I've ever like heard in my entire life. And I kind of looked crazy at the other people who had switched to go play that when I thought it was just like a clear knockoff. But think about that. I was 11. I was like 11. So like, who cares?
What you're saying is not crazy. Well, that's not a crazy take.
So much that I couldn't have understood back then about why Star would make that decision. And I hope he realized that was like generations of people like me who couldn't possibly understand that. So if you saw comments from little kids on YouTube, like all the comments you see on YouTube are from little kids. Like seriously, don't make that give you an impression of don't allow that to give you an impression about your reputation or your legacy in this that isn't true. Because the people who matter, the people who paid attention, the people who will put a real face or a real name or a real voice behind what they're saying, none of them would stand by any of that shit, man. Nobody would. Can you imagine somebody from the current TF2 community making a video that's like why Star was actually a fraud? Like no one would ever do this,
no
right?
one would ever do that.
No one.
And if you did that, you would get hate. Appropriate.
Bro,
you would be nuked from fucking orbit if you made a video like that.
Well, because it would also be full of bullshit. It'd be like, what would the charges be? Like he left for Overwatch when TF2 objectively became terrible.
Which like a million people did also just because they hoped would.
If you want a future, the future clearly wasn't there. And I couldn't see that as like a 9-year-old, but like, whatever.
Whatever,
man. Forget about it.
Forget about all of it and play some TF2 Gold Rush, maybe.
Hey man, you said it, not me. You said it.
I'm playing a little bit of it here while I still can. That's how I'm seeing it. While there's people playing it, and I can hop on some Arena Badlands and some Hydro or whatnot, replacing my current TF2 fix. But
I know I'll definitely hit the mod up a few more times on stream. I had a lot.
You're just gonna make it sound like this is a paid infomercial or something. If you like old TF2, you go check it out. Don't feel obligated. Our vision isn't gonna make everybody happy with that. Don't.
By the way, our vision is not. That's you and whoever's involved with it, not me or Zesty.
Yeah, Jasper. Shout out to Jasper again. Shout out to Jasper.
Yeah, I make that abundantly clear. Me and Casual do not have any sway over what this mod is doing, but we will.
Are people really DMing you to be like, Zesty, change this about?
Oh, I got at least 30. Insane. I got at least 30 the day of asking me to either change something or contact you to change something.
Well, that last one makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, but
there's a public whatever.
And I was still receiving a few over the past few days of people asking me to change things because they genuinely thought that this was my mod. It was a non-zero.
Man,
a significant non-zero number of people. I enjoyed it,
if this mod dies, by the way, people are like, "Oh wow, it's bleeding players." It's like, bro, I didn't think it was going to break 1,000. That's insane. I never dreamed of that.
Yeah, and it's the same struggle.
For the record, and this is completely true. Richter and I were having a conversation the day before the mod came out. And we had come to the conclusion if there's 2 or 3 full servers, that's a success. And the fact that it hit to 1,000 on the day of, and it's still holding.
How would I have dreamed of that?
Dude, it's still holding a few hundred right now. That's more than any other TF2 mod can say right now, which is pretty fucking amazing. And of course, it's not fair because those aren't on Steam yet, and things will be different when those come out. But at the same time, it's this is a mod, and it's just a fun, different way to experience,
By the way,
vision of where the game should go.
Since we're talking this, I just want to make a disclaimer. This mod has never once in its entire life on the store page or on the website, never has it said this is a one-to-one recreation of this date in TF2. Never has that happened. So please, when people are saying oh, it was supposed to be a 2010, and then they ruin the whole point by, it doesn't have this or this acts like this. We're trying to make the game feel how it's supposed to, and we're listening to older players and trying to improve it to be that ideal experience, but
Ideal experience of early TF2, but not a specific
early
date.
TF2. Yeah, the 2010 date is not anywhere on the store page or store page. Store page, and the website we say we're curating certain content from up until around 2010. There's never it was never supposed to be 1-to-1, and I appreciate that that's not always going to be what people want. People are going to have their qualms about that, but please don't think that we failed at our goal because it's not 1-to-1 to something. That was never the stated goal.
The point of the mod was to never be a specific snapshot of the game from a specific era with, like, oh, this is February 14th, 2009, Team Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, Team Fortress 2, 2009.
Freudian slip.
Like, that
That's
was
awesome.
that was never the point of the mod. The point of the mod was to recreate a specific feel. It was meant to recreate.
We've made all the write-ups and blurbs about the game. They're all clearly like very visual oriented, and that's not to say that trying to make a version that feels how veterans wish the game played isn't a part of that. But I don't know. It's just frustrating when people are like, you fail. I thought it was supposed to be all 2010. Why is this like this?
These are people
like, well, that's not the idea, Like,
no, these are people that are completely missing the point of the mod's existence. Again, it's not meant to be a specific snapshot of the game at all. And it's so annoying that
it was never advertised as that.
No, it was never advertised as that. It was never shipped as that, and it's not what the mod's meant to be. And that's why I had so much fun with it, because it just felt like, holy shit, it felt.
I'm glad you enjoy it. I really do.
I had a lot of fun, man. It was really fun. I'm definitely gonna stream it again. I'm hopefully gonna get another full server.
Even if it dies, I don't care that much about that, because part of what I wanted for it is just it's accessible on Steam. If people are looking for something that's like what did old TF2 feel more like? Like, what's a simpler version of this game? Like, what can like a comparison point almost of like, it's rhetorically useful, like that's cool to me,
Yeah.
Dude, and I'll just say too, not a paid ad, but like I've had so many people message me, just ask, is it good? I've had so many people just be like, is it good?
It's free. It's free, bro.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
I had people coming to my stream today. Like, so many people, hey, it just got here. Is it good? Is it good?
But a lot of people are on the fence in that way. Like, my point is, all those people too are like old head TF2 players or people I used to be friends with and play with years and years ago, and they just want to know, like, hey, is it safe? Like, is this going to get me what I need?
Is it safe?
Yeah, because there's been so many similar-ish restoration mods, but I will say too, just from my experience, it's pretty much going to get you what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might have some particular nitpick if you have
highest honor. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that too, because people ask so much. I'll just say, yeah, you should try it out, because the thing that it will get you, even if it doesn't have the exact maybe unlock that you want or some other thing that kind of disrupts what you're used to, it will give you, right now at least if you play it, what you can't get anywhere else, which is, full matches, not matchmaking style, long interrupted, at least half-an-hour games on all these kind of awesome retro maps. That again, it's like Steam, retro. What does that even mean?
Your friends, like,
it just means like, oh, you can play Nightfall again. You can have a full arena match.
Pipeline.
You can play Pipeline. So many of these great maps that used to be very normal.
Well, I can
back
play
in the day.
Oh, it was so fun today playing a couple of these old maps that I've not been able to consistently play in years, man. It was so fun.
I know you guys.
I had that exact moment like last night where I was like, oh my god, I'm on Arena Granary with 12v12.
You guys would tell me if it sucked, right? You'd be like, "Where's the gunslinger?" You'd be like, "You do that."
I mean, I already expressed my number one criticism in that I don't like the lack of auto reload, but I understand why you didn't include it. But like, I'm not glazing it because
that doesn't
it's your
take away
mod.
the fact that you still get to experience CP well 12v12 for half an hour.
Dude, like I shit you, like when I was streaming today, I got like so happy when I saw well pop up in the list, and I knew in my brain, holy shit, I'm about to experience a full 24-man server.
A long game, like how it used to
experience.
For 45 uninterrupted minutes, I got to play on CP well. It was so fucking fun. Oh my god, I just couldn't get enough. I just that alone is what I miss so dearly about Team Fortress 2, is just this seamless, uninterrupted experience of just getting into a game and immersing yourself in it and just having so much fun either by yourself or with your friends. Hold on. And just having this seamlessly fun time that isn't constantly fucked up by this shitty matchmaking system telling you, well, you lost, now go search for a new game again. It's so disheartening and frustrating that and I'm seeing this everywhere, more so now on Twitter and on Reddit and on YouTube, and also as I'm playing the mod and elsewhere inside of TF2, more and more people just being sad that they missed out on being able to engage with the game that way. It's like, wow, is this really how it used to be? I saw so many comments like that, like, wow, this is how the gameplay used to be. Why isn't the vanilla game like that? Like, I almost want to cry because we have so many generations of players that never got to get that, man. And so this mod providing a little taste of that for people to go out and experience, like, man, this is how the game used to be. Just that alone as an achievement means your mod was a success, even if it's only getting a few hundred players per peak, man. It's just, it sucks so much that that we have to rely on a mod to get what the game used to be, man. And it's so good that
like,
this service is being provided.
Like, in a lot of ways, this is just how this should have been, right? If things hadn't changed in 2016, this is probably roughly how the game would be. And by the way, like, I don't think that the judgment in the mod is, like, unimpeachable. Like, we welcome feedback. There's obviously a couple things we feel, that the project is pretty solid on. Like, the auto reload thing is, it's an art decision. It's this and that. If you really care about it, there's a whole manifesto written by Jasper somewhere that you can go read about it. Why it felt like it made sense for the art, minimize, reload interruptions and Spy having 3 arms and slow down the pacing of the game and stuff. And, this is the traditional reload mechanics that were in Team Fortress from, Quake Team Fortress. Which, by the way, did you guys know that, maybe somebody will fact check me with this of, like, actually it turns out that arcade games had this and that. But, Quake Team Fortress was, like, one of the first games that had, manual reload mechanics as in, like, clips and shit. I didn't know that, because Doom and Quake didn't have that. They would just have a full ammo capacity. It makes it more strange that mechanic was kind of pushed out, and I think it has to do with it being a anti-scripter measure. But obviously, that's not going to make everybody happy, and I welcome people to make their own mods. I think maybe a little more effort goes into wrangling a bunch of programmers to remove hundreds of thousands of lines of code from the modern TF2 SDK than maybe people give credit for. But I welcome them to try it. I feel like we made a lot of the right decisions in making Gold Rush. Obviously, not perfect. There's balance changes that we're looking into and all that sort of thing. But ultimately, like I said, I hope this is a good, at least rhetorical or like high concept way to be like, this is how TF2 could have been, right? And this way or that way, like I don't like this version of the Equalizer. I don't like the version of this. I hope that like the broad strokes, high concept element of it resonates with people. And I hope it sticks around. I hope people give the best input they can on it. And also, for the people who are really upset about the auto reload thing, I would like to make it known that there's a server in Gold Rush right now. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hijack the whole broadcast right now. There's a server called Isle Nightfall. They created a auto reload plugin, so you can see if that's more your liking. It's there. It's easily possible. You could ask the guy who runs it, ASOM, for his plugin. If you want to host a server with auto reload, there's obviously like, what the fuck? We're gonna tell you not to do that? No, that's like. However you want to play TF2 is how you want to do it. It's just with the goals of the mod, with maintaining visual cohesion and all that, and maintaining the original flow state of Team Fortress 2 as it was super early on in like 2007 and 2008. This felt like the thing that made sense, etc. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to rip everything away, but
no. And one more comment I want to give. This was the first time in many years where I was not being frustrated playing against a sniper or a spy.
Well, that's the micro thing I want to tell you, Zesty. One thing that we ran into, this is just sort of random, but there is I guess you could argue, like a really tiny, really minuscule rebalance to the sniper in our mod that I doubt you noticed. And that's that his rifle sound is audible from a longer distance. By like 5 decibels. We realized we were playtesting on Badwater, and we realized you could get headshotted by a sniper from literally the entire map away, and no one would even hear the gunshot. And we're like, what if we just make that like? Because first and foremost, that just feels wrong. Like I'm seeing this person take this shot, and I can't hear the gunshot for a sniper rifle, which is the only class in the entire game with literally infinite range. So it feels like it would make sense for him to be a little more loud or more easy to hear.
More readable.
By the way, that doesn't mean he's louder whenever you're next to him. It just means that you can hear his round from further, like when he fires. And we realized that's because the maps got bigger over time. So that was probably fine on 2 Fort, the distance, but when you get like really big open maps like Badwater or Thunder Mountain, we changed that, and it was like immediately felt a little better, and it's a little experimental, but I was like, damn, that's really slick. And I wonder if live TF2 was like that, I wonder if people would complain about the sniper less, because I guarantee a lot of people, most people who've played the mod probably didn't notice we did that. And it's such a subtle thing. It barely even reflects a balance change. I guess it's a sound balance, like literally the balance of decibels change. So subtle though. And you wonder about like different things that the TF2 team could do like that. You know, they would just make the game a little more this or that way, you know?
No, I think people may have noticed it, at least subconsciously, because whenever you do hear a sniper rifle go off and like you noticed someone on your team died from a sniper, like shit, it like doubly confirms that something is there. Because like if you didn't hear the noise, then it would just be another blip in the kill feed, you know? Like,
yeah,
it
may
may not help you notice a sniper that's further away, but at least help you notice like, oh shit, there is a sniper there somewhere, and someone on my team just died to them, that kind of thing.
We've had nobody comment on that, so I'm going to assume it means it's subtle enough that it didn't matter, and it just had the intended effect. But like, I thought about that for a second. It's just like, how many balance mods try to do like, we'll add tracers so you can see where the shot comes from, and I don't think anybody tried just making the sound audible from farther away, and it's really interesting. There's so many interesting things you can toy around with TF2 like that, and that's why Casual should be put in charge so he can do his meet your match updates, gag updates.
That's right. And everyone needs to be trolled a little bit too. For
a little bit of trolling, you know.
That's right. People need to. That's like before you take all their items away. You go, wait a minute. I'm in control now. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, like the good old days.
God, can
let's
I just say?
match.
Can I just say something? I feel like we've gone on like so many fun directions here that like each of these directions could have been an episode in of themselves, and it gets me excited to keep going forward with this podcast, because initially I was very shaky on even starting this and wondering like where the hell this is going to go, but it's making me realize the more that we do this that there's still so much to tease apart and so much that we can continue talking about, that I feel like this is just going to continue being so much fun. Doing it with both of y'all. And
it's one of the great digital cultural phenomenons for a reason. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, sure,
That's the point. Like, there's a lot to go through.
No, yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. Long story short.
Yeah, we get to build our synergy stat up too, you know. I'm excited.
Oh, man. Well, is that it? I felt like that was a really, really good place to jump off, and I thought that turned out pretty good. I think we need to have Casual dictate the topic of each episode more.
Well, we can try our best to come with. You two really took the lead here, and
I paid him to say that.
I just let y'all go, as y'all were really spitting some shit, as the kids say, and I didn't want to interrupt it.
Just having a lot of fun.
I feel like Richter got unleashed, which was good.
No, I think Richter, you got to do that more, man. I think you having these uninterrupted, very
I'll drink more Bacardi when I come on. Okay, so we can do that
the passion was palpable.
I feel like the moonshine had the opposite effect on me, where it kind of neutered my speech a little bit. And to be fair, I've had a little bit of a long day, but it's okay. Shit, that's 2.5 hours, gentlemen.
Is that going to be our longest episode ever or something?
Maybe once I cut it down, it'll be the longest one. So thank you for sticking it out to the end. We really appreciate y'all for listening all the way through. And on that note, gentlemen, closing thoughts.
Come on the podcast, Star. You'll love it. We'll be really nice. We'll give you the Warriors entrance you need, the King's entrance. Roll out the red carpet. We won't be weird about it. We'll be super normal. We're all super normal and awesome.
We swear.
Valve,
we swear we are.
Team Fortress 2's IP. You're fucking it really bad. You've made a lot of mistakes, but it's not too late to Halloween restrict every item in the game. It's not too late. You can do it. Make a racing game or any game that would be cool in the Team Fortress 2 world. I guess, everybody who's listened to the podcast has probably already kind of picked up on this, but go play Team Fortress 2 Gold Rush. I've had a lot of fun working on it, and I have a lot of fun playing it, and it seems like the other two on the panel have too, so I guess it's a fair enough reason to say, like, go check it out,
Word. And check out my Twitter, x.com
TF2. Bro, you have the best TF2 Twitter ever. Best one ever.
If you want random TF2 thoughts, I tweet my TF2 thoughts all the time. So please add me.
You have like the best. You actually have the best TF2 tweets. I'm not even. There's like 0% glaze. Like they're all amazing. Like I love your one.
Richter love.
Bro, they're amazing. They're the best that have ever been done. Nobody has ever done TF2 Twitter like
nobody has ever.
Put some greatest hits on screen right now, Casual.
Put some greatest hits on screen.
I'll put some on.
Yeah.
And then find me
in the ones you're thinking of.
Find me in the trenches, dude. Dr. Heels is out there on the front lines. I'm gonna be a little less active the next month or so, but if you find me, I want to Uber you. I want to make some good Ubers happen.
I want to Uber you.
I need help, dude. And thanks, Zesty,
Okay,
for making it happen.
here's one of your best. Here's one of your bests, Casual. If I ran Valve TF2 team, I'd make sure that you couldn't disconnect from a casual match until you typed, kind of like a CAPTCHA, a verbal apology to your teammates with explicit mention of the reason why you are leaving the match that is checked for AI by a sophisticated anti-cheat. That's what you're getting on the casual Twitter. Go check it out.
It's great. On that note, even though this is going to be posted after Thanksgiving, I do want to wish everyone, and I hope that everyone had a lovely Thanksgiving. Spend some time with your friends, spend some time with your family, or even a little bit of time with yourself, reflecting on...
Be careful peeling those potatoes.
Be very careful peeling those potatoes. But also spending a little bit of time with yourself, reflecting on what you've been blessed with on this earth, and what's good and what needs to be nurtured more. Be that friends, family, or your faith, be that in God or whatever else you believe in. And I do wish all of you, both the gentlemen here and everyone else around the world, a beautiful and blessed and happy holiday season. We'll be back for December, don't worry. We got a Christmas episode. I'm sure we'll cook up something lovely. But until then, God bless, happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for listening, and we will see you guys next time.
One love.
Peace.